Welcome. Next stop, the Fashion Bunker. Please sit back, relax and enjoy your journey.
Hello? Hello, everybody. Peace, 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 peace. Welcome. Welcome to the Fashion Bunker. I wanted to say down under. Maybe we are. You never know. But we're at the bench, you guys. How's it going? Yes, queen. Hey, everybody. Hi, Asia. Hey, Audrey. Hey, Danny. Hey, Melanie Rice. Hey, Brockstar. Hey, Jesus. Hey, Fairydos. Hey, Debbie. Hey, Velasquez. Hey, Han Solo. Hey, Jonna Oates, 5 Hilo Dorcia S, Baba Believing Christian, Despina, Melissa, Mwedzi, Art Style, Trina, Sai Sky. This is Danny O. How's it going, sweetie? Welcome. Val, darling, we see you. Oh, she look at Slay. Val, thank you. Brittany Heavenly, Araceli Cruz, Audrey again. Hi, Gloria Retinas. Yes, some of the live stream, y'all, because listen, last week, no, actually this week, mid of this week, we topped the charts with 721 thumbs up, record-breaking live stream, might I add, with over 5,000 views. It was insane. Thank you guys so much. Hold on, is the mic in the position? Yes. Now, we're like 100 people watching right now, so let's see, oh my gosh, could you imagine beginning the live stream with 100 likes already? That would be amazing. But also we have a topic, the sad topic of secondhand luxury brands plummeting. We're going to talk about that. Yeah. 2 years of pandemic and we were all talking about investment, this, investment, that. Let me get a Birkin here. Let me get a Kelly there. Let me get a timeless classic here. Let me get a timeless classic there. It's going to be a great investment for the future. It's going to be great for the kids and posterity. Well, seems as though this might not be the case after all. So we're going to dissect all of that in this live stream. And quite frankly, yeah, Kev, better for us shoppers. I'm into this trend. Well, I don't know. Okay, so that's a whole topic within a topic. Are we into this trend? Are we into are we into this are we into the secondhand luxury brands losing value? I don't know. Because I personally prefer to buy new if I can. I just love the in-store experience. But at the same time, hold on, my hair is a bust. At the same time, I'm thinking to myself, well, what happens if for example, we've had this entire week, the Louis Vuitton drama, which was the Louis Vuitton banned me. Pardon me. Ooh, allergies kicking in at the beach. The drama of Louis Vuitton banning me. You could check out part 1, part 2, and the live streamed part 3 on my channel. It was a doozy. Oh my God, sneezing eliminated 20 of my brain cells. What was I talking about? Who are you? Where are we? What's going on here? Bless you. Thank you, guys. Salud. Thank you, Gloria. Ooh, cha, bless. Thank you, Debs. Shakti says, thank you, Streamlabs. Bless you. Kath says, looking fantastic as usual, Dacob. Thank you for all the effort you put into your videos. Oh, Kath, thank you so much. Listen, there's going to be some great topics coming up in the following days because today before the main show, I shot a couple of topics and they are hilarious. They're informative and fun. So, stay tuned for the next few days because it's going to be a doozy. Also, thumb up the live stream. Don't forget, let's try to beat our 721 thumbs up, a record this week. Are we going to do it? Who knows? Let's see. But I also wanted to say, Child Kev, thank you so much for becoming a tier 2 member. I just want to say something. Seeing that we're so many wonderful people here, over 100, 150 people, 73 thumbs up. We can get to 100 thumbs up. Easy breezy. We're like halfway there already. Come on, you guys. We can do this. I wanted to say, to use this opportunity also to tell you guys that I will be traveling from this gorgeous beach place to other places. But amongst the other places, there will be Berlin, Germany, where Art Lovers Unite, my movie with Vivienne Westwood and Patrick J. Thomas, will premiere. Well, we'll have its German premiere on February 16th, 2023 at 7:30 p.m. with a pre-show, main show, and Q&A session hosted by Anita Drink, believes it or not. None other than the lead singer of Eat Lipstick, the Berlin punk rock band, gorgeous music, super fun. Anita is going to host the evening, and there's going to be a Q&A session after the movie. I will be present as well. Tickets are available now at www.artloversunite.com if you wish to see Vivienne Westwood one more time in the city where the movie was actually shot. So that's going to be a very special occasion. It's just one screening. And for those of you who are just tuning in for the first time ever, I just want to show you the trailer of Art Lovers Unite. So you get to see what you're going to watch if you go to the movies. And I'm just thinking, should I show you the new one? No, I'm going to show you the old trailer, the original trailer. Hit it.
Truth is fiction when the fiction's true.
True or truthful.
Real is non-real when the non-real's real. Yeah. And that's what art is. And that's what we can appreciate. Dacob, you can understand the world through art because art stops the clock. And it's not real, but it's more real than we are because we're all just actually all whirling around in a total flux. I have too many photographs. That's why I don't really like photography too much.
Really, you don't?
Because I'm just sick of seeing all these grinning faces. I'm sick of all these. I never look at magazines. I'm completely OD'd. If people today know what overdose means, I expect they do. I've never taken drugs in my life. Not really, I don't think so. It's very well done, this gallery. Yeah. This gallery's really good. I don't know whether Titian invented that pose of that nude, but all his nudes have got this pose, this thing, this Venus.
Actually, I remember a photo of you in a very similar pose.
Yeah?
Yes.
Oh, was I naked? My motto for life is, you get out what you put in. Venice, we've got to say Venice. We've got to say Venice. Yes. It's going to be ruined because of the cruise ships. We're completely unique in the life forms of the planet. There's nothing like us.
It's kind of hard to watch. I know we've all, for those of you who follow me for a while now, we've seen this trailer 1,000 times. Hard to kind of realize that she's no longer there. I still don't get it. It doesn't really want to fully sink in. So when I watch this, I feel like I remember everything of that day when we were shooting, and I remember how she smelled. You know, she wore boudoir. I remember, hugging her and how she felt and she was, and it's just I think that's what I'm gonna carry in my life. that memory of her. So to me, I think Vivian will always be alive for me. So this movie, I was afraid, once the news hit that Vivian passed away, 29th of December of 2022, that this movie would become heavy for me to watch because it would always remind me that she's no longer there. But now I'm noticing that actually that's not the case at all. This movie reminds me that she's alive. And I'm really happy that it's giving me this emotion because it, every time I see it, every time I watch it again, I kind of learn something new from her because she shared a lot in that movie. And I think for Patrick and I to, the co-producer and co-director of the movie, for us to turn every premiere of this movie, whether it be a world premiere in Melbourne or the European premiere in Barcelona, or now specific country premieres in different countries, next one being in Germany, we're turning it always into kind of an event, like a one-off event where the community gets to meet together in real life, not digitally, not virtually, but you get to really sit down together and watch this movie together and in real life, and then have a Q&A after and have a conversation all together after the movie, like human beings are supposed to do. We're social creatures. We're supposed to meet up together in circles and talk and exchange ideas and information and knowledge. So the fact that we're working so hard to maintain a dying art form, which is gathering of living human beings in one space to talk and exchange information, to keep that alive, it costs us a lot of energy and effort because, everything is so fast nowadays. Everything is that you push one button and you have world distribution done. But this movie is special. It's good to see it together. It's good to sit down together, all of us together in one room, and watch it together and experience it together, and then have a conversation together after. It's something that really nobody does nowadays anymore. And I don't know, I have the feeling we're kind of, we're trying to plug into old school version of society with this movie and the way that we are distributing it bit by bit. But then I have the feeling we're kind of ahead of our time in many ways, because even though this is an old school way of distribution, it's not the fashionable type of distribution nowadays, right? Where everything goes digital immediately. So we're having a bit of a struggle, a bit of a situation where, certain people that are into distribution and stuff like that contacting us saying like, what the hell are you guys doing? This is not how you distribute a movie. And it's kind of annoying to not ask for an opinion of certain people, but then they give it to you anyway because they think that they're entitled to tell you how you should be doing your job. When in reality, we are working really hard to create the right buzz around the movie, to create the right desirability around the movie, and also to get the right people to see the movie because, it's also building up a community. I don't see Art Lovers Unite as a product that you consume once and then, what are we having for dinner after, and life goes on. No, I see this as a product that you come back to over and over again, to bond with it and also with others over and over again. So is it unconventional? By all means, yes. Is it going to be successful right now? Probably it won't. But is it going to be a grower rather than a shower? I think so. Word of mouth, the grassroots movement. This movie can only survive if you guys want to watch it, if you guys want to see it. Otherwise, it's going to vanish. So anyway, I'm going to be in Berlin for the premiere of the movie on the 16th of February at the Babylon Cinema, one of the rare cinemas in Germany that were not destroyed after the Second World War bombings, well, during the end of the Second World War bombings. And it is a Bauhaus architecture cinema that's still standing. with its original Bauhaus style and design, interiors and exteriors, because it wasn't bombed. And they also have, from the 20s, an antique cinema organ, one of the oldest ones in Europe, could you imagine? Where, for example, if they play Nosferatu or if they play Metropolis by Fritz Lang, there would be a person on the organ playing the special effects, the thunderstorm sounds, and also the music on this special organ designed just for cinema. In that cinema, that organ is still there and it's still functional. So, I mean, so bizarre. It's going to be really insane. And also a dear friend of mine, but also lead singer of the Berlin-based punk rock band Eat Lipstick, Anita Drink, is going to host the evening. So, I mean, she is a handful in the best of ways. And she will be also hosting the Q&A session. Almost the entire crew, minus Vivian, of course, is going to be present at the event, at the evening. And so it's going to be a wonderful conversation. I'm really, really thrilled that we managed to get this together, you know, to pull this off. Well, we haven't pulled it off yet because on the 16th is when the show begins. So I hope you guys are going to come, as many as possible. And yeah. Hair and Nails, could we premiere the movie in Vienna as well? I mean, if there's a cinema interested in showing it or a film festival interested in showing it, yes, of course we could premiere in Austria too. Hi, Driti, how's it going? 3 a.m. in India, so happy to catch Dacob live. Hey, sweetie, good morning to you. Melissa says, Dacob, if Vivian was a scent, which one would be for you? Wait, Dacob, if Vivian was a scent, which one would be for you? What do you mean by that? Well, she's boudoir. Vivian Westwood wore boudoir all the time. Oh yeah, Debbie, working on the wormhole takes time. Asia says, come to Venezia Biennale would be really special. Asia, are you a curator at the Venice Biennale? If you are, make it happen, girl, because you need a curator to invite you to show an art piece at the Venice Biennale. It's not that easy to get there, you know. You know what's also interesting? We applied for several film festivals in England, also in London. All of them said no. We applied before Vivian passed away, so we applied also last year and also this year, and they do not seem interested. I really don't know what it is, why that is, but Great Britain, just another reason for me to have an issue with England in general. But anyway, yeah, so they don't want, apparently no festival there that we sent it to wants the movie. Michael says, sending love from PHTW. I am terrible with abbreviations. Thank you, Michael. Thumb up the live stream, you guys. Bible says, my husband and I both love your shirt, and the dog and cat are watching with us. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, I'm wearing Michael Myers. Halloween, John Carpenter's Halloween, the first Halloween from 1978. And I have, in fact, we have Michael Myers here. We also have Laurie Strode, there she is. Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode. We have the infamous pumpkin from the opening scene of Halloween. Anyway, and then we got Dr. Loomis down here. And then we also have here, we have the Myers house, Michael Myers' house. Here's the tombstone of Judith Myers, Michael's sister. And then here we got Michael Myers as a ghost, Bob the Ghost, with a cloth on his. Oh my God, that movie is so epic. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Love the entire Halloween saga, but the first one takes the cake for me. Live and ferret for the original, says Han Solo. Philippines and Taiwan. Oh, thank you, Michael. Philippines PH and Taiwan TW. I'm really bad with abbreviations. Thank you, Michael. I'm English and this is frustrating, says Size Guy. Yeah, as a Brit, you have my vote, Dacob. Thank you, Aisha. They said no. Blonde and Chatty says, shameful. I'm embarrassed to be British. I can tell you right now, I can give you a list of a few of the festivals that said no to Art Lovers Unite in Great Britain. The Oxford Film Festival said no. Then the British Independent Film Festival said no. The British Documentary Film Festival said no. The Cambridge Film Festival said no. The Leeds International Film Festival said no. That's just a few. But they took our money. Because for them to view the movie, you have to pay. You have to pay a fee for them to watch the movie. So they took the money and then they said no. So thank you, UK. You have shown your face yet again. Anyway, Vel says, how awful. Yeah, I know. Please send Fruit Gummy. Says, how about Chicago? I don't know. Why do festivals say no? There must be a good reason for it. Well, why do festivals say no? There must be a good reason for it. Well, that's an interesting way you phrase that. I'm trying to understand if you're trying to troll or if you're trying to be authentically interested. Okay, well, I'll just assume that your question was not meant to be in any way negative. But so they don't believe in the movie. They just don't believe in the movie. Or the other reason is that they have a political agenda. Like curators of the film festivals every season have their own vision. And so they're not authentically looking for good movies. They're looking for movies that fit their agenda. Bottom line. So if you fit their agenda, you'll get in. Otherwise, no. That's the bottom line. But also sometimes people just don't believe in your product, right? So when we were in Cannes shopping the movie before the pandemic, there was this one agent that came to us out of the blue, well, actually her assistant, and said, oh, we saw your movie. Yeah, we don't think it's sellable. I'm like, who are you? Like, did we show the movie to you? No, but we saw the screener. I'm like, okay. And then am I asking you for your support? No. So you're just kind of here while we're having cocktails coming to me to bash my movie. And this is all before we started going to film festivals in general, right? So actually the movie is doing, considering that it's a labor of love of literally like two people, Patrick and I are making it work. That's like, considering that it's just two people behind this movie, we're doing really well. Imagine if we had an actual team of like a distribution team, an agent, a publicist behind this movie. I mean, it would be much bigger. But so anyway, so this is kind of the reason. No, I'm not negative. I published a few things myself and it is hard to get accepted. Art is very subjective in general, says V. So yeah, all right. So that I'm telling you, it's people just do, they either you fit to their agenda or you don't. And that's that. Sci Sky says, I've seen terrible movies that they have pushed, and this would be something that I'd actually want to see. Sci Sky, that's exactly what I was thinking about today. I was thinking to myself, there's so many really bad movies getting like global distribution, and they're really bad. And it's not like they have huge budgets to promote them, like everybody has heard about them, but they're still really bad. No, we're talking about movies you never heard of, and they still get distribution everywhere, and they're like really bad. So, I'm thinking to myself, how does this world tick? It doesn't have logic, really. There's no logic to it, no rhyme or reason. It's always about their agenda. Yeah. Yeah, Ladetta, it is. And it's not even about who's popular, Gloria. Seriously. Hey, Katie. Aisha says, I do think they have their own agendas. Britt says, hi, Dacob, looks so beautiful tonight. Oh, thank you so much, Britty. Aisha says, they have favors to fulfill, etc. Yeah, I do believe a lot of that is happening as well. And then, friends of friends, friends push friends. I know you, you know me. We push each other as happy as can be. Sobi says, hi, everyone. Hi, Sobi. This is Daniel says, their own algorithm. Oh, totally, babes. Katie says, oh my God, so many crap movies, especially on streamers. And Aisha says, even that film Rust is still going ahead. Audrey says, it's all through nepotism these days. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Aisha says, and the lady that died, her husband is now the exec producer or something. I mean, it's insane. But anyway, the Babylon cinema in Berlin, this gorgeous Bauhaus cinema, they believed in the movie, enough to say, yes, you guys, let's have the premiere here. But however, it's not a film festival, it's our initiative, which means we carry all the risk, which means if the tickets don't sell, we got to pay out of pocket. Nettie says, oh, my internet connection is rubbish this morning. Hi, Nettie. I hope it gets better. And Pompadour says, Saban and Chatty, Oxford is severely lacking in variety and culture. Since the university and local authorities decided to suck the life out of the city, stuff like this is what that place needs. Kate says, we all believe in you and your work. The movie is doomed for success. Driti says, thank you. Thank you, Kate. So glad for the festivals that picked you. So proud of you. Thank you, Driti. Hey, Madame. How's it going, sweetie? Hey, Tracy. Your eyeshadow today. Oh. It took a long time. It's the blending. And it's like, oh my God. I got motion sick from all the blending. I got motion sick from the blending. LG Pop says, Transylvania Film Festival in Romania is also very friendly. Oh, I love the whole Transylvania in Romania. Little vampire moment. I guess as a vampire, I'm going to have to go. Dacob, your film will have a cult following at some point soon. Thank you, Aisha. Audrey says, all the leadership roles in my work are filled through nepotism. Even if I suggest we use somebody who deserves it, they don't want to hear it. Oh my God, that's terrible. And in that particular system you're in, that is even more tragic. Katie F says, oh my God, I love Dacob in Romania. I'm manifesting success for this movie's as a motion engine. Oh, thank you guys. LG Pop says, with Adidas, of course, with Adidashi, of course, darling, with the Didashi Adidas. Dacob, how about approaching the Brighton Film Festival in the UK? It would be right up their street. I think we sent it to them. Maybe we're still waiting a response. Jesus says, as a POC, I'll skip Romania. Audrey, Dacob, let's get you back to the motherland. Oh, Ireland? Love to. Send me off to the Irish coast, the shore. Oh my God. I think Ireland would kick me out 5 seconds after I'm entering. Could you imagine me at the border? They're checking my passport and I'm like, well, good day to you, sir. They're going to be like, there's the dough. There's the dough. Fly the Oompa Loompa out of the country yesterday. Okay? And then Audrey's going to stay like, Audrey's on the other side of the border. She's like, no, let him in. Yeah, you said your hair is down to your belly now. Like, I want all the hair wild and loose, and I want you to be like a banshee. The whole Irish banshee. With your black hair flowing in front of your eyes. Just your hands like going between your hair. Like, oh, let him in. Oh yeah, come back to me, Chepai. Rotterdam Film Festival. Lots of documentaries. Rotterdam, I think they said no too. Much more friendly than Aussie immigration officers for sure. Listen, Australian immigration officers were amazing, actually. They were so kind. I mean, when I was entering, when I was exiting, however, that is a different story. They really were bitchy to me because I don't know, for some reason my passport was not doing the diddy. The passport, what am I doing with this earring? Hold on, you guys. My passport was like not blinking properly through the machines. Something was going down. Then they had to manually check it. And then they looked at the passport. They look at me. Time has been terrible to you. Yeah, one of the officers told me that. They all laughed and I was free to go. This was on the exit. This is as I was exiting their country. So upon my arrival, everybody was really nice. So anyway, blending, says Andrea V. When you've got hooded eyes, better stretch before eye makeup. Smoky eye might need to add windmills and a cup of coffee. I mean, do I have hooded eyes? No, it's okay. We're still good. We're still good, as you can see. But as you can see, they're very blended here. I mean, they could be more hooded, like, you know what I mean? I don't... Hooded-ish. So rude, says Rosha. So rude. Everyone's a comedian these days, says Kev. I know. They wanted you to stay down under, says Asia. Down under where, honey? A bug. Did you try Berwick Film and Media Arts Festival? I don't think so. Thumb up the live stream, y'all. Blending. Oh my God, says Katie. Asia says, they wanted you to stay down under. Everyone's like, oh my God, I'm reading everything twice. Which eyeshadow? Oh, it's a blend of a lot of them. So it's the Tweed palette, the golden one. Tweed Cuivré, number 1. Then I'm using, always the usual suspects. I have the Stylo U, Cuivre Doré, Antique Or, and then I have a little bit of a cat eye moment here with the Rose Cuivré, or something like that. And then I have the pink pearl right up here. It's a lot. Like, it's a lot of work. And then I got the Antique Or under the eye, in this corner, down here. Mascara, I mean, yada, yada. It never ends. It takes forever. And it doesn't look like it's a complicated thing. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it looks relatively simple, but I'm like, but so many products went into it. What the hell? Such a victim of Chanel. Linda says, no way. No Robin eye hooding. Just beautifully applied eyeshadow. Oh, you guys, too kind. Thank you. I'm new to the eyeshadow game. I'm new to the blending because I was just saying that in the pre-show. Oh, by the way, you guys, let me plug the Tier 2 membership on YouTube as well as Tier 2 patrons. If you become a Tier 2 patron or a Tier 2 member of my channel, before the main live stream, you get an access to a pre-show live stream, which is like up to 2 hours long. Well, 2 weeks ago, we did 3 hours, depending how many topics we're filming. But we talk about a lot of things, more in depth, more open, certain things you can't say on YouTube there, we can say. So join the fun, join the fun. The pre-shows, it goes down in the main shows too, but could you imagine the pre-shows? There it goes down. We'll go. Just did my makeup and it's giving John Galliano for Dior era. This is fabulous. Listen, we love John Galliano for Dior era. Now, we're talking about today about the fact that, and I was just waiting a little bit because I was charging my iPad down here. Hold on, you guys. Let me just unplug it. Because I have an article here that I wanted to kind of go through with you guys. And my hair is floating. Floating hair. Lovely. And I think it was by Yahoo or something, a little something. Yeah, Yahoo. No, MSN.com. And Paria Cavillans wrote an article about resale value of Gucci, Chanel, Louis Vuitton handbags falling. Now, this is an interesting topic for me because at first I read it and I thought, the headline, and I thought, well, are we talking about when you buy something new in store and then you want to resell it? That's when the value drops, you won't be able to get your money back anymore? Or are we talking about buying something secondhand and then eventually one day reselling that and losing value? Because I mean, it is slightly different, you know, if you're buying new in store and then at a certain point you don't want it anymore, you want to resell it, not resell it, you want to sell it on, because you're not reselling it because you didn't sell, well, you can't sell something twice. No, you are reselling it. Anyway, I thought to myself, well, who really resells stuff that they buy new in store? You either are a reseller, you have that tendency of buying and reselling in the hopes that you might gain a profit, or you are that person that from time to time buys something because you fell for the FOMO, a seasonal piece maybe, something that just is trendy at the moment, but then soon after that, you get bored of it, you fall out of love with it, and you're kind of thinking to yourself, well, it's just collecting dust in my wardrobe in the closet, let me at least, you know, allow somebody else to have it that might love it, right? But in that case, when it comes to these seasonal pieces that are not, you know, that are forgettable, you usually lose money if you sell those on, right? So I thought to myself, well, if we're talking about resale value of certain products plummeting, I'm like, well, that's always been the case, right? Because if you think about it, let's say you buy a Gucci bag, a seasonal Gucci bag from 2 years ago, you bought it for, let's say, $2,500. There's no way you can get that money back if you resell it. And we're not talking about some collaboration with some artist, like some high in demand, like we're not talking about the Nike Dior sneakers. You know what I mean? That's not what we're talking about here. We're not talking about Supreme with Louis Vuitton. We're talking just some seasonal in-house branded bag and done. It's no longer an it bag. You're not, if you bought it new in store 2 years ago, you're not going to get your money back. You're not. So, you know, my theory about all of this is there are certain objects that actually maintain their value silently. And this is something not a lot of people talk about. Actually, I haven't heard anybody talk about silent maintaining of value. Yeah, you best believe. We've just coined a new term, okay? And that would be, believe it or not, certain, especially when it comes to two brands, certain costume jewelry pieces from Chanel and Hermes. Now, when it comes to Chanel, you got to be very careful because there are those pieces that are just trash. A little double C earrings with the studs that fall off, with the crystals that fall off, trash. Chanel crosses, those little buggers are very hard to come by on the secondhand market. And whenever you do see them, and we're not talking about just any, they have to be Goussan, they have to be Gripois, they have to have that connection to the heritage of Coco Chanel. Of course, I mean, if you get originals from the 30s, jackpot. But even seasonal pieces done every season, rare to find on the secondhand market. And when they do hit the secondhand market, they're always very expensive. And actually, they cost more on the secondhand market than new in the boutique. For Hermes, we have a similar instance with, for example, their locks or certain Kelly bracelets. I'm talking costume jewelry. They might have real leather, but I'm not talking real gold or silver. We're not talking fine jewelry. We're talking costume jewelry or small leather goods that are connected to turn locks, like the Kelly turn lock or whatever. But their entire 90s series of little animals transformed into like charm locks, those are really hard to come by, especially certain animals like the snail. They cost a lot more secondhand than they did when they were new. Same applies to certain, like let's say bag charms. Now, bag charms, you might say, are just small leather goods. And they are, but I kind of see them as borderline costume jewelry as well. I mean, you can't really wear them on your body. You could transform them into pendants for necklaces. But let's say you get a Pegase, you're never going to lose your money from a Pegase. You won't, because they are always high in demand. So, but very fascinating to me, and I've been a Chanel collector for many, many, many years, okay? Decades, darling, decades. Now, I've never experienced a very low price for costume jewelry that was made in the form of a cross, a Maltese cross, or one of their Byzantine birds that they sometimes do, or the whimsical pieces from the first half of the 90s, whether it be the psychedelic pills bracelet or the mushroom charms that Carl did. Well, that he supervised. He didn't design the costume jewelry. But so there's a lot, especially the jewelry pieces that recall the 30s Chanel archives, or even the 50s or 60s Chanel archives. Those pieces, they cost a lot secondhand, like a lot. They are dealt with as if they were real jewelry and not just costume jewelry in terms of pricing. Especially the special pieces that are gold plated from Gusan. Like for example, this earring here, is Métier d'Art Chanel 2022 with Gusan. Gusan manufactured them. They are 24 karat gold plated. And very heavy. They are clip-ons, which is also super rare. But then you got Coco Chanel's profile on one side, and then you have this huge burst of sun with the Chanel logo on the back. I mean, they're insane. They're a pair. Like one is little with a big hoop, one is little hoop with a big earring. And these already now are worth more than they were purchased new. So you got to know where to look, and you got to know how to buy when you're buying from these brands. And then you can actually even maintain the value of a piece, even if it's costume jewelry. Because a lot of people come for costume jewelry and say, oh my God, it's terrible. Who would want to spend so much money on costume jewelry? It's not even real jewelry. They're fragile. You can't get them wet. You can't, put perfume on them, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you got to know what you're buying. You got to know the heritage of the brand to a T if you want to not lose the money there, right? Now, on the other hand, when I was buying the platinum ring, I knew this ring is not going to maintain its value. I didn't care. Why am I saying this? Because unless you don't know it's Chanel, it doesn't say Chanel on it. It says Chanel inside of it. But I wanted platinum because Coco Chanel created her platinum collection in 1932. She didn't care much for gold when she did her own jewelry. She did platinum and diamonds. But since Chanel today doesn't do anything else but 2 platinum rings, everything else they do is in gold, I was like, well, this is a symbol. This is a symbol for me, and I want it. And so I have it. But since it's not your typical thing that screams Chanel from a mile away, people are going to say, well, okay, there's the value of the platinum because platinum is very expensive, but there's no added value for Chanel. Maybe one day, if I keep doing my job and I grow the community, and if I become in some way, shape, or form known, then this ring might have an extra added value because they say, well, this is the ring Dacob wore, like for years and years and years on his channel. Then maybe the ring will have an extra added value. Maybe, just maybe, okay? Otherwise, it's just going to be some platinum ring that, I already see it now with platinum rings from the past that Chanel did, mostly on the Japanese, like eBay. They cost way less than the value of platinum itself. Like, you can get a lot of really cool old school Chanel platinum rings for not much. So they lose their value for sure. Now, but this article, let's get to it, actually goes into some sort of detail by saying consumers spooked by accelerating job cuts, looming recession fears, and continuing high prices for goods and services in 2023 are trading down when they're shopping, and that includes in secondhand stores. Demand for secondhand goods remains red hot, with the resale market expected to reach $82 billion in sales. $82 billion in sales by 2026, nearly doubling from $43 billion in 2022, according to industry data. Now, but just as they are doing with their weekly groceries and purchases of new items such as clothes and shoes, consumers are looking for better value in the resale market. So then I started understanding that this article is actually going into the tendencies of how people are shopping. Those appear to be changing. It's not that they're saying that people are not shopping secondhand anymore. No, they're saying people are shopping more and more secondhand, but it's what they're buying secondhand that is changing drastically. And also what they are ready to spend for one item is changing drastically. So the Real reported, Sasha Skoda, director of merchandising with online luxury reseller The Real, reported allegedly, we started noticing in late summer, early fall of last year, demand for higher priced luxury brands at resale is down, which is pushing prices for brands like Chanel, Gucci, and Louis Vuitton down. At the same time, she said, demand for previously owned lower priced luxury brands such as Miu Miu and Bottega Veneta is up. Then Skoda also added, allegedly, that consumers are worried about the economy and they are not spending as much. They are no longer willing to pay the same price at resale that were willing to pay last year for brands like Hermes, Gucci, and Louis Vuitton. According to the Real's annual luxury consignment report in 2023, which was released Thursday, handbag resale prices fell 20% for Louis Vuitton, 17% for Gucci, 10% for Hermes, and 9% for Chanel. Over the past 90 days. Now, on average, the resale value of higher-end luxury bags from these brands is beginning to level out, with prices down 5% in the last 6 months. Now, what I'm thinking is they are at a point where, and I've been saying this since over a year now, certain brands have outpriced themselves. We're talking more about bags in this case, right? This is why I wanted to say before, I do believe that there are exceptions to be made to the rule. Like I said, like certain costume jewelry pieces, heritage, like that, right? I think they're talking more about bags in this case. And I said this since a year, I said bag-wise, these brands have really outpriced themselves. I mean, we've come to a point where, I'm sorry, I just don't understand how people on YouTube, for example, can still believe that it's worth it. Like they, do an unboxing of a Chanel Timeless Classic bag that they just bought new in the boutique. And I'm like, you literally spent $9,000? on that. Well, $10,000, you know, with tax now, prices went up again. So let's say $10,000 for a medium. Why do you believe it's worth it? Because it's really not. It's like, it's beyond unbelievable at this point, you know? Oh, hey, Dovi. Hello, friends. Very interesting topic on this one, especially knowing that some of the brands like Bulgari already increased their prices. Yeah, they have. Oh, thank you, DC Martinez. Yes, more spookiness. We love our Halloween moment. And Michael Myers. Katie says, people overpurchase during pandemic and are returning to work and getting rid of things also. That is a good point. I think a lot of people are also selling the stuff that they bought during the lockdown. You know, stimulus checks are done for. People got to get their jobs rolling again. People have to start working again. And they're like, oops, overspent. Let me try to sell some stuff off. And then like, well, now you're overflooding the market. So prices go down. But it's interesting, however, to see that Chanel went down 9%, but like a brand like Louis went down 20%. Why do you think that is? I personally believe that it went down 20% because Louis is pushing more and more leather and seasonal pieces, and they're doing less and less of their canvas. And I think that the 20% decrease for Louis is due to the fact that there's less of canvas goods and there's more of other things, just seasonal pieces, trash, really. Ugly stuff that was trending a year or two ago and is now dead gone awful. You don't want it. You don't want it even if they threw it at you. So, and now people are like flooding the after sales market, secondhand market with these pieces, you know, and people are like not buying. So I'm surprised that it went down only 20%. I would have envisioned like 40% at least for Louis, right? But that's their choice. Louis Vuitton is choosing to phase out more and more monogram canvas, you know, to sell less and less of their monogram pieces. They're still making their heritage pieces. They're doing the trunks. You can order a trunk for, you know, $20,000, $30,000. Great. Thanks, Louis. You can still get the Speedies. You can get the Neverfulls. You can get the Almas. You can get the Noes. You can get the Keepalls. Like those are the pieces they're always going to keep making, right? But they're phasing out all other canvas monogram goods. And by monogram canvas, don't be fooled, you know, when they try to sell you the oversized monogram, like the bags with a huge LV. That's not the same. That's also a seasonal thing. They can tell, yeah, but that's also canvas. It is, but it's not the monogram canvas that we know, you know. Back in the 80s, if you look at old catalogs from Louis Vuitton, you're going to see a bunch of bags all in canvas. It was all about the canvas, whether with monogram or with the damier, azur, eben. They didn't have Eclipse back then, but all different shapes and cuts of bags. They were delicious. It was gorgeous, gorgeous. And I never stress enough to repeat how much I love the movie with Shelley Long, Beverly Hills Troop, where she's like, you know, at a certain point, she's like moving from A to B with like her 20 pieces of Louis Vuitton luggage. They're all in monogram canvas, and it is delicious. You can't find those pieces nowadays. They don't make them anymore, except for the few classics, the trunks, the Keepalls, the Speedies, right? I just got a Speedy the other day, and I am stretching it out because, you know, I want to get the folds out, and it's doing well. It has 2 pillows inside. Here it is. I name my Louis Vuitton bags. This one is called Luella Annabeth, M.S.G. The abbreviation, I cannot tell you what it stands for just yet, but anyway. Luella Annabeth, the hillbilly. Love it. A Southern Belle name. You know, I named them all weird names. My Speedy 30 is called Beulah. My Keepall 50 is called Tabitha. And my Micro Speedy is called Tallulah. Where are you, Tallulah? Tallulah is here. Wait, hold on. So now, whenever I travel now, I get a little something from Louis. I've been looking for a Speedy 35 for a long time, and the quality is just not there. It really, I mean, I've been traveling a lot since lockdown stopped, and everywhere I go, every shop I encounter, every Louis Vuitton shop I go to, I ask if they have a Speedy 35, and every time I did that, something was wrong with the Speedy. Either the leather was cracked or it was crookedly sewn, stitch was off, the glazing was not well, sloppy. I mean, really sad. But I still kept going and pushing for the perfect Speedy 35. Finally found it. It was an ordeal to get this one because, you know, they banned me from purchasing the Speed. But anyway, I fought, and I got it. And I've been taking Luella out with me these past few days. It's been amazing. I've also put Luella on the balcony for a couple of minutes just to like let it tan a little. You know, I want to get its patina going. So it spends a little bit of time in the sun every day, just a little bit. I don't want it to overheat, but I just wanted to kind of get a nice little honey patina as soon as possible. And it's such a joy to have this bag. Now, why am I showing this bag to in particular? Well, because this is one of those heritage pieces that probably sooner than later is also going to go out of production. You know, they've already discontinued the Speedy 40. You can't just buy the Speedy 40 like this, you know, without the bandolier, without any, you know, what you might call it, names. Oh my gosh, we got so many people watching and only 142 likes. Come on, you guys, thumb up the live stream. Let's try to break the record that we had last time. So as I was saying, like you can order the Heritage Speedy 40. It takes them a long time to manufacture, costs like double the price. For what? So that you get to choose the interior color of the interior, and then you get to choose also like the initials. Or do you want to have like stripes here printed on the side or the initials there? I'm like, honey, that's tacky. Sorry for those who love it. I don't like it. I don't like to have anything on my Speedy. I just like it like this. But they don't do the clean 40 anymore. They've discontinued it, right? Just like they've discontinued the Keepall 45 and 50 without the bandolier. Now you can only get them with the bandolier. So sooner than later, they're also going to discontinue the Speedy without the bandolier, which is the one that I have. So it doesn't have this like leather here with the strap, right? I like the old school version of the Speedy just with the handles. It's just the way I love it. Now, why am I talking about the Speedy in particular when it comes to this theory about, well, not just theory, but as the Real has seen the tendency of the percentages dropping for the value of these bags, right? Resale value. Because I'm thinking to myself, well, we have to differentiate what we are purchasing here. Are we purchasing seasonal goods that, you know, listen, I mean, may Virgil Abloh rest in peace. And like we love to say these days, rest in power. But he was pushing that neon green color. Yeah, guys, I know Bottega Veneta also did it for a hot minute. And now what do we have? We're sitting on a load of trash in neon green from several brands, mostly Bottega Veneta and Virgil Abloh with Off-White and Louis Vuitton. Other brands followed suit with the green, and now there's like a ton of this stuff in green that nobody wants anymore. You know, those colorways are like, green is a beautiful color. It might come back in trend again soon or later, doesn't matter. But what I'm trying to say is now people are trying to get rid of that and are jumping on the next train. Like, what is the next best hot thing? And this is where I say, I think that's why that 20% of fall in terms of a percentage of people like looking for Louis Vuitton or purchasing it, because the stuff is costly. LVMH keeps pushing the prices up, especially for their leather goods. And I'm like, well, it's not really warranted because the quality just isn't there to match what they're actually selling us. And this is why I think they've outpriced themselves. Chanel has completely outpriced itself. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I'm still shocked when I see YouTubers unbox a $10,000 timeless classic and like Black Caviar, Gold Heart, like, you know, the classic, like, I'm like, seriously? Now, I'm not throwing shade at people who were like super young, you know, when these bags cost $2,000, $3,000, right? And maybe now they're in that age where they're interested in this stuff and, well, they missed the boat, you know, they missed that trip. So now that's what, if they want to buy it new, that's the price they got to pay. Like, I get it. But then if you're going to, Like, I understand that. I understand that if you really want to buy it new in store, you're going to have to spend that money. But my thought is this: when I got my Timeless Classic, back then it was around $3,000. I still thought I'm crazy for spending this amount of money, right? But now looking back, I'm thinking to myself, well, so the person who's spending $10,000 for it today, what will they think 10 years from now when the bag is going to cost $20,000? And I think to myself, I think Chanel has shown its true face in terms of greed to a point where I still think for $3,000, that bag and the quality they used to have back in the day, it was a lot. But for Chanel standards, I thought, okay, I'll do it. I'm going to splurge. But they can't fool me now at $10K. Not anymore. They can't trick me anymore at $10,000, because at $10,000, I see that the worth of that bag just isn't in there. Neither for the quality of the leather, which has been really lacking these past 2 years, in my humble opinion, at Chanel, neither for the covetability of the bag, because the market is flooded with timeless classics, neither for the rarity of the bag, or let's say investment. I don't talk about bags as investments, but if you buy a timeless classic today, okay, for the full price retail, I honestly don't think, we're not talking seasonal unicorn pieces. We're talking black lambskin, black caviar, gold or silver hardware, the classic timeless classic. You buy it for $10,000. You're not going to be able to resell it for $10,000, $12,000, $13,000. You're not. You're not. Those days are done. They're over. So this is why I say they have outpriced themselves at Chanel, because they have outpriced themselves because they keep pushing up the prices. They keep going up. And I know that the secondhand market also tries to keep up with the price increases. And every time Chanel has a price increase in the boutiques, the secondhand market also has to up their prices because they keep running after each other, right? But at a certain point, you're like, well, hold on a minute. I'm not going to pay secondhand. I'm not going to pay $10,000 for a secondhand Chanel bag. Are you crazy? Also because there's so many of them already out there. There's so many timeless classic Chanel bags out there. You can't, you can't demand that amount of money, because what's going to happen is, if you have a consignment store, right? If you have a small consignment store, you could play it safe, and you could say, for example, let me stock up on these timeless classic bags. I'm not going to offer all of them for sale right now. I'm going to keep them in storage, wait until the price increases a little bit, and then I'm going to make a profit off of them a couple of years from now. You could do that. But bigger consignment stores like the Real Vestiaire Collective, that's like whatever comes in goes out. You know what I mean? So what happens is, you have a website with a lot of offer. So you have like 50, 60, 150, 250 timeless classic bags from Chanel flooding your shop. And with such a huge offer, you can't expect to get $10,000+ for every bag you sell. It's impossible. So it's not like Chanel is increasing their prices in the boutiques, but they're lowering the amount of produced goods. No, they're still producing a ton. So it's just, you got to spend more money to obtain the stuff, but they're still producing because people are still buying. And I'm still more and more shocked every time I turn on YouTube. Oh, there's another person unboxing a new timeless classic, like right after the next newest price increase. I'm just shocked. We got over 300 people watching, you guys. Let's try to reach 300 likes. Come on, we can do this. We're at like 350 people watching. We got 190 likes. Y'all, I know you can do this. Listen, we went over 720 likes last live stream. It was mind-blowingly incredible. I'm sure we can do this again. This is insane, you guys. Your access to red carpet says more people are buying vintage collections because the leather goods are botched nowadays by vintage. That's also a really good point. Leathers are not as good today as they used to be. Paul Valkrod says, used to work at the Maison in 2017 and 2018 and unfortunately signed an NDA, but it was really hard. Oh man, Paul, I'm sorry. Also, wow, they made you sign an NDA. They don't do that to everybody, so you must have had a higher position. Marina says, but isn't Chanel limiting purchase of classic bags? Well, the way that they limit the purchase of the classic bags is by raising the price. That's how they outsource, you're not going to buy it en masse anymore. People who are that rich, they're still going to sell them to them. Because those people are going to keep buying apparel, they're going to buy fine jewelry, and when you do that, they always make exceptions for you. Of course they do. Of course they do, especially if they know that you're not a reseller. Now, everything I say in this video, of course, is for entertainment purposes only, just my opinion, not rooted in any truths or facts. Everything I say in this video is alleged. So we're speculating together. It's kind of a process we're going through. Oh my gosh, we're 226 likes. Oh, you guys, thank you so much. Wow, we jumped like 40 likes just like that. This is awesome. We can do this. Okay, so we got 350 watching, 226 likes. Come on, let's do this. And I am not going to be ashamed to be that YouTuber who's begging for likes, because I want the algorithm to know that we're doing something right here. It really does help a lot. And I know it costs you nothing to click on the thumb up, but for the channel, it really does mean a lot because it signals to YouTube that you're interested in the content. And then YouTube then says, oh, okay, well then maybe we can also show the content to new viewers. If the viewers that are return viewers like it, we can also show it to new audiences as well. So it really helps a lot, And the cool thing is, it's for free. You don't have to pay to click thumbs up. So, yeah, Beg and Ferret says Jesus. Also, you guys, let's get to 300 likes because I would like to premiere a new song. If we reach 300 likes, we are going, we've had several songs already. We've had the Live in Ferret, Die in Ferret. Hey, Devon Short, how's it going, my love? We had Live in Ferret, Die in Ferret, Cha, 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 Cha. Thank you to the mods, right? Well, there's new songs in the Fashion Bunker, and I want to premiere a new one if we get to 300 likes. I wanted to say like, sorry, I just got to retouch my makeup. I thought like, let's premiere it at 500 likes, but you're being a really tough crowd today. You're not giving those thumbs up. So I'm thinking to myself, let's sweeten the pot. Paul says, they wanted to keep me from attending the Métier d'Art show in Hamburg, but I went anyways, and it was so good. Why did they want to keep you from doing that? Were you involved in the design? Oh my God, and Carl was still alive. That was when Carl was still alive, you guys. Oh, Pauline bags actually look really cool. Sankofa Spirit. Yeah, and if anybody from Pauline bags wants to get in touch with me and do a little collab together, ain't gonna say no. Very interesting leather. Very interesting leather. Very interesting. I would actually love to co-design a bag with them, to be perfectly honest with you. I think they're very interesting. Hey, Jesse, how's it going? The Métier show in Hamburg was one of my absolute faves. Hi, Dacob. Hi, Jesse. Aisha says, spill the tea. Jam says, Dacob, have you been to any famous fashion shows? Yes, I have. Vine says, I've got few Pauline bags and I love all of them. Listen. I know I'm boring you with Louis, but since we still have a lot to cover on this topic of resale. We just kind of touch the tip of the iceberg. We're going to go more and down the rabbit hole. 259 likes. So 41 more thumbs up, and we're going to premiere a new song, you guys. Yeah, Jizzes. Pauline is giving boho with emphasis on the ho. Cute. Yeah. Cute. Yeah. Oh my God, Asia, you got tickets to see Madonna? Good for you. Just Saying says, what are your thoughts on the Jeannie Cardigan jersey logo mania, this 23p logo? Jeannie Cardigan jersey? Oh, Jeannie the singer? Cardigan jersey logo mania? No, not into it. Not into it. Blonde and Shadi, thank you for being a tier 1 member for 16 months. Thanks for being there for us every week. Much love. Thank you so much, Blonde and Shadi. Mwah. Thank you. Yeah. 266. Okay, I don't think you guys want to hear the song. All right. Well, all right. If you don't want to hear the new song, then not. I'm about to start work. I've got to head off. See you all soon. Oh, love you, Val. Have a great day at work. Paul says, the management didn't like that I was invited to the show, but my application photo to Louis Vuitton already had a mini Kelly on it, so they knew my temper. Oh, wow. You applied for Louis Vuitton, and on your photo you had a mini Kelly? Chanel says, I'm drooling over Louis Vuitton monogram. I can't stop buying it. Louis Vuitton monogram is such a classic. I know, me too. And this is what I'm saying. That I personally, when I buy a piece like this, I'll take my good time. It took me almost a year to hunt down the 35 that was in really good condition. Even though I'm talking new in shop, not secondhand. It's kind of sad that you're buying them new at Louis and you have to look for one in good condition. Are you kidding me? Usually the good condition denomination is something that they give to used bags. But alas, it is what it is. I'm super thrilled with it. Very happy with it. But what I want to say is, you see, to me, it doesn't matter. Like all of these conversations about how much bags cost, a resale value, this and that, because when I purchase a bag, I don't go for a seasonal piece. And this is the point I wanted to touch base on. I don't go for a seasonal piece. Why? Because a seasonal piece is something I might get bored of. And truth be told, the seasonal pieces that I do buy, I usually buy them from brands where their bags go on sale at the end of the season. And if there is a seasonal bag from that brand that I like, I'll buy it when it hits sales. That's always been my motto, darling. Now, when it comes to these classics, I buy them full price in the boutique, but I never think of them as something that I'm ever going to get bored of because they're so classic. And in fact, I've never gotten bored of any of my classic bags, my Timeless Classic, my 255, my Keepall, and my Speedies. Like, of all my bags, those are the 4 styles that I always gravitate towards. And when it comes to Vivienne Westwood bags, it's the Yasmin bag that I have in several sizes and materials that I never tire of. The Vivienne Westwood Yasmin bag is literally the equivalent of the Chanel Timeless Classic or 255, or the equivalent of an Hermes Kelly, or the equivalent of a Louis Vuitton Speedy. Like, Vivienne's Yasmin bag has that iconic symbolism. It's been around since the 90s, since she designed it late 80s. And it's been around, every season. They always do the Yasmin bag in different sizes. So those are the bags I always wear, and so I really don't care about resale value. So when I bought this Speedy, I bought it with the intention of wearing it, using it a lot. So it makes me really happy. And I am just like you guys, drooling over the monogram. It makes me feel like I'm time traveling. It gives me a sense of peace. It makes me feel like, I'm back in the 80s. And, maybe some people think of monogram as, the Kardashians. I really don't. When I think about Kardashians, I think about silicone butts and maybe some weird exotic Birkins or, yeah, just like some exotic Birkins, that's it. But this to me is classier than the Kardashians. I think of Audrey Hepburn when I think of a Speedy, and I think of really classy travel. And I just think of luxury goods that don't let you down because they're virtually indestructible. I told you, like some of my pieces, like my toiletry pouch, it fell down and it got a bump like when I first bought it. And now because I use it so much and because, it always goes in and out of my bag and it always gets kind of massaged, it's gone. I can't find the scratch. Like for the love of me, I cannot see the scratch anymore. Like it healed itself. That's the Louis Vuitton canvas. What can I tell you? Also something I've noticed, which is why I was so obsessed with this particular Speedy. It's, I don't know. I think because it's the newer batches, it's a thicker canvas again. Yeah. For a while there, the canvas was a little bit thinner during the pandemic years, right? Now, it's a very, very robust canvas like I remember from like the early 2000s. Has anybody else noticed that? Let me know in the chats, because Paul says the show in the Opera House was amazing and the after party was better than Berghain. There is a video on YouTube of it. Oh, what are we talking about? Which show? Just saying, please give your thoughts on the new mini caviar with the adjustable heart chain, but without the leather on the chain that has been released this season. Oh, I say no to their leather. I'm sorry. It's a no for me. They have not shown me any improvement in their leather thus far. So it's a no for me. I would not waste my money on that. That's trash. It's not good leather. Hey, Paul, love your videos, man. Oh, thank you so much. The Opera House. So you're talking about still the Hamburg Métier d'Art, the Opera House in Hamburg, I think you're talking about. Yeah, the silicone butt, says Blonde and Chatty, right? I really want to hear the new song, Help Me Out, fam. We're at 271 likes, you guys. We need to reach 300 likes to premiere the new song. MC says, I'm also selling a few things on Vestiaire Collective and definitely feel the market dropping on that side too. I've got back 70% off retail and still getting minimal offers. I'm telling you guys, something is happening. Now, but let me know if anybody else has had any experience with, so don't worry about the folded stuff. These bags come folded. This is all gonna loosen up with time. And I'll be traveling with this one, so I'll be folding it again anyway. But just letting you guys know, don't worry about the folds. All of these, it's normal when the bag is brand new. They're all gonna loosen up with time. You just gotta give it time. I love this one to bits. I've been wearing it everywhere, on the beach, to the restaurant. I put it on the balcony a little bit for it to bathe in the sun, just a couple of minutes to get a bit of a patina. I mean, it's so much fun. It's a lot of fun. It's like, it's a relationship between the Speedy and me. You know what I mean? So anyway, hi everyone. Very nice bag, the Speedy. Thank you so much, American Princess. So let me tell you something more now, because now the article goes on, right? And then at a certain point they say resale prices are cooling somewhat for luxury handbag brands like Gucci and Louis Vuitton, according to The Real, courtesy of The Real. And then they say, a potential recession, the climate crisis, and global unrest are all reasons that going into 2023, consumers are making shopping decisions based on value. Ratisahi Levesque, co-CEO and president of The Real, said in the report, as they embrace lower prices, resale shoppers have become less picky about the condition of the items they buy. Interesting. Remember how a couple of years ago it was always about like, okay, if you're going to buy something secondhand, on many forums online that talk about luxury bags, and everybody was like, is it in great condition? Like, is it like brand new? Are there any scuffs on the edges? Are there any scuffs on the corners? Now, you remember how at the same time, I was already back then, I think the only one on YouTube who was telling you, I actually want a beat up Birkin or a beat up Kelly. Like the Olsen twins, or like Kate Moss's, beat up Kelly. I want one of those lived in Kellys, right? And a lot of people are saying, no, if I'm gonna get a used Kelly, it has to look pristine. It has to look new. If it's going to be new Birkin, it has to be pristine. It has to look new, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I want that thing to be rocked. First of all, that's going to make it cost less. But second of all, I'll be less afraid to use it. You know what I mean? And interesting how this is becoming a tendency. And what they say here is that demand has nearly doubled for fair condition items, such as those showing signs of heavy wear through worn corners and significant scratches, the report said. This is interesting because just a couple of weeks ago, you know how Hermes posts their own videos in their ateliers, how they do their Birkins and Kellys, or how they make their crops. And there was this one particular video where they were showing us the repair ateliers for their bags and leather goods, and behind the scenes. And then there was this one scene where the one of these artisans was just kind of looking. I think it was because they have these workshops all over the place. So this guy, I think it was in Singapore, that video, but the guy used to work at Hermes in France, and then they just kind of sent him around to do different repairs, in other places, I guess. And he was working in that other workshop, and the bag came in, and the corners were quite scuffed, right? And he said, "Oh, that's the easiest repair. That's so easy. Like, that's not a big deal. Like, the integrity of the bag is fine. We can repair a scuffed corner or edge. That's not a problem. The problem is if the leather has dried out so much throughout the years that it becomes brittle from the inside, that all of the inside part of the leather kind of just disintegrates, because that's going to fall apart. You can't fix that structure. But if the structure of the leather is still intact, moisturized in the right way, not disintegrating, then we can fix the corners. Not a big deal at all." I found that very fascinating because a lot of people make the hugest of issues when a Birkin or a Kelly is scuffed on the edges or the corners, when apparently Hermes can repair that easy breezy. So fair condition merchandise sold by The Real is on average 33% cheaper than products being resold in good or excellent condition. So people are also looking for a better deal, and they don't mind the fact that the bag looks beat up. Skoda noted that millennial and Gen Z shoppers, who are the core shoppers of secondhand merchandise, are gravitating to more affordable contemporary brands like Miu Miu, Bottega Veneta, and Telfar. Not that Bottega Veneta is really affordable, because let's be honest here. We've all seen Kate Moss with the leather outfit that looked like it was grunge flannel, right? What is it, like $10,000, $20,000, $30,000? I mean, Bottega Veneta and its bags currently in leather are not to be compared with Miu Miu price ranges. So in that respect, I think the article is missing a point. Telfar is more affordable, instead of investment pieces from top-tier luxury brands. Yeah, Smurfette, agreed. Bottega is not affordable. Anke says, unless it's limited edition, I will buy all my stuff used now. Not too beat up, but still decent. Okay, but this I have to also say, limited edition, we got to be careful here, you guys, because when we do limited edition, what does that mean? Are we doing a seasonal bag with a seasonal shape? That is limited edition anyway, because they're not going to make seasonal shapes every year till the end of time. Every seasonal bag is a limited edition. Like, what I consider limited edition, like if they do a Speedy, which is a classic, and then they say, well, this season we're doing the polka dots, Yayoi Kusama, that's a limited edition. Then I would consider, except I wouldn't, because Yayoi Kusama, as you know, I'm not a fan of hers. She's made some racially charged remarks in her past, and I don't want to support her. But Aza says, Bottega secondhand is cheap though. I'm seeing bags for $600. Yes, especially the older ones. That is true. Their resale value isn't the highest. Now, so I don't know if you agree, but to me, it seems like the Louis Vuitton stuff that the Real is claiming resale value and also demand for Louis Vuitton went down 20% in the last 90 days. I do believe that that's connected with the fact that they're chopping their own feet off, Louis, by avoiding to make more canvas pieces. That's their heritage, but they want to veer away from that. They want to go into that really high price range like Chanel or Hermes. They want to do their leather bags. Their leather isn't the best. I'm sorry, it just isn't. And long term, they might be biting themselves in the tail rather than growing their brand if they keep pushing these seasonal pieces. And especially like this season, with the current collection that just hit the runway a couple of days ago, men, fall winter 2023. Again, we've seen a lot of, it's a clash of a lot of different things, a lot of different designers, artists. They did not appoint an artistic director. In fact, at the end of the show, the entire creative team came out to bow. Now, there was this one collaboration that they did with the artist, Kid Super. He, did all that kind of on the ginormous sized almas that look like bolides by Hermes. All of the kind of printed, painted street scenes. That's kind of his artwork. Still, he did not walk alone at the end of the show to say like, hey, I claim ownership of this collection. Nobody claimed ownership. So maybe that's also one of the reasons why the request for Louis is not so high, because it lacks a sense of orientation. There has, they haven't appointed a new artistic director for men. This latest collection, although a lot of people think it's amazing, I thought it was quite lackluster. A lot of these brands tend to hire musicians, famous musicians, to headline their shows. In fact, the Louis Vuitton, Jesus is going to be happy to hear this. Louis Vuitton, the men fashion show from Louis Vuitton. By the way, Jesus, you're going to watch it if you haven't already. Right after the live stream, not before. But Rosalia was singing, performing live during the entire show. So it was like a 15, 20 minute. I don't know how long the show was, but she was singing live on stage. So I was looking into the comments under that video, and Louis Vuitton's YouTube channel, by the way, they posted their own fashion show with Rosalia singing. And a lot of the people loved the show, but it's not like they loved the show, they loved her. So Louis strikes gold because they pay her to perform, and they know that all of her fans, and she has millions of fans, they're all going to come to watch this show. And they're going to like the show because she's singing in the show. And I'm like, well, hold on a minute. Are people liking the clothes and the collection? Or are they tricked into liking the clothes and the collection just because Rosalia is singing on the stage of the show? She's performing on that entire set. Because most of the comments that are positive about the show talk about her, not really about the show. They say Rosalia was amazing. She looks great in this show. And it kind of, by deflection, appears as though all of these people that are commenting positive comments that they're loving the collection, when in reality, they're not there for the collection, they're there for her. But it seems like Louis kind of tricked us, into watching their show. Like, if you want to see Rosalia perform live, you're going to have to watch our clothes. Like, you're going to see our advertisement scrolling through the screen as you watch your favorite artist perform. And I thought that was kind of really, really sneaky of them to do, right? Similar happened to Gucci. Gucci now doesn't have an artistic director because Alessandro Michele is no longer there, right? So their male collection, fall winter 2023 men collection, also had nobody come out at the end of the show to bow and to take responsibility for the collection. But instead, what did they do? They hired this music band, forget the name. I mean, I forgot the name. It looked like something David Lynch would have done. And it's a weird, like there's this like kind of musical entourage, these dudes. I don't know who they were. Somebody will know probably, but they're kind of performing in the center, and then around them, the models are walking. Again, is this a tendency we're now seeing? Are these fashion brands not secure of themselves enough to just like offer the clothes because they don't have artistic direction? They don't have one person coming out at the show, at the end of the show saying, this was my work. Neither Louis nor Gucci had that. Instead, to compensate for that, I feel that they chose to put the musicians. Gucci, some band, and Louis Vuitton, Rosalia. And so these singers become kind of the focal point, or these musicians become the focal point because people know them. They become the focal point of the fashion show, not the clothes, because the clothes aren't claimed by any designer. It's very bizarre tendency I'm seeing at the moment. So this can also be a contributing factor to the fact that a lot of these brands are falling on the secondhand market. For example, Gucci was also listed on this list that I mentioned before. Their percentages are going down as well. Now, this can be due to two factors fundamentally, I believe. One, because there's a reason why Alessandro Michele leaves Gucci. Now, either he was offered a much better job at some other brand and his contract was expiring and he said, I'm not going to renew the contract, I'm leaving. Or his contract was expiring and then Gucci said, hey, your sales aren't the best anymore, bye. Or they paid him a lot of money to end his contract before time because the numbers weren't right. Sales weren't doing as well. But bottom line is this, on the secondhand market, I think Gucci may be, losing its value, or people are less interested in it. One, because the Alessandro Michele was getting tired. The Alessandro Michele look at Gucci was getting tired. It was a look that was like always the same escapism. I want to be a hippie at heart till the day I die. I'm going to live in some villa outside of Rome. Everything's falling apart around me, but I don't care. I'm going to wear clashing top and bottoms, logomania everywhere. It was just like, I get it. After like 25 collections, you're like, we got it, Alessandro. We got it, and I think people started to get bored of it. And also the secondhand market got flooded with the same stuff from Gucci because he would make similar things every season. And after so many years of doing the same stuff, the aftermarket is flooded with it. It all looks the same. There's too much of it. So I think this is a reason why, the first reason why I think the prices and the interest in Gucci went down, because too long and too much of Alessandro Michele at Gucci for too long a time oversaturated the market. And people just got tired of it. It's a tired look. Sorry, it just is. Second reason, I believe, is because just like with Louis, Gucci as well does not have artistic direction yet. They haven't appointed a new artistic director. It's kind of like everything is kind of a little bit loose and fluid. Their internal creative team designed this collection. And also, I've been reading the comments underneath that fashion show, and a lot of people are saying, oh, without Alessandro Michele, Gucci is lost. But then a lot of other people are saying, oh, I really love this breath of fresh air at Gucci because it's a little bit more minimal now, streamlined, less logos, a bit more chic, a bit more elegant. Somebody was even saying, oh, we're going more in the direction of Tom Ford for Gucci, like the sexiness is coming back, rocker chic. But then some other people were criticizing and saying, oh, Gucci's really lost now. What do they look like? They look like Hedi Slimane for Dior, mixed with Hedi Slimane for Celine, mixed with some whatever residue of Alessandro Michele. So there's criticism there, but people are lost. Like the clients don't know what to expect. The clients that loved Alessandro Michele for all these years, well, they're like really angry now because they're like, I was buying Gucci because of Alessandro Michele. Now this is not him anymore. I don't like this Gucci anymore, so I'm leaving. The people that love the Tom Ford era, they're a little bit skeptical to trust this tender return to Tom Ford style, just a bit. And they're looking at it thinking, it does look like it could go into that Tom Ford era again that we loved so much. But I don't trust Gucci because they were so tacky with Alessandro Michele for these past years. I don't trust them to rein it back in. You know what I mean? And you have all of these different factions. And this is why I think the instability is what is also causing Gucci to kind of collapse on the secondhand market. Because if there's one thing I've learned in my life when it comes to consumer economy and branding and marketing and just the heritage and covetability of brands is, in order to sustain yourself and maintain yourself up there to be desired, you need continuity. You need to repeat the same thing over and over and over and over again till you cannot see it anymore. But that doesn't matter, because what you should never forget is that your clients are new. Every year there's a new generation of kids that are growing up and are old enough to buy into your stuff. And they want relatability as well. And if you're offering them something that's been around for already decades or centuries, it adds up to the reputation. But if you all of a sudden just like do a hard cut with an entire style, like Gucci did with Alessandro Michele, and you're going to start something completely new now, that is really bad for the brand. Really bad, because it shows the brand has instability instead of stability. The best thing Chanel could have done, you might like Virginie Viard or hate her, but the best thing they could have done after Karl passed away was to appoint her his successor and just say, we are continuity. She has been working for him for 30 years at Chanel. So now that he's gone, she just takes over. Takes over where he ended, she continues. She's not changing anything, she continues. Now, she did change anyway, and a lot of people don't like what she's doing, and that's all good and fine. But what I'm saying is, at least Chanel tried. They understood that factor of continuity and played into that. In fact, even when you shoot a TV show or when you shoot a movie, there's an entire section, there's an entire part of the production of the movie or the TV show that is responsible for, guess what? Continuity. And coincidentally, you know how we talk a lot about, we're at 301. We're going to listen to the song in just a second. Let me just finish this story. You know how we talk a lot about Ab Fab on my channel. I love Absolutely Fabulous. I love Jennifer Saunders and Dawn French. And when they were shooting Ab Fab, there's this wonderful book. I recommend everybody to get it. It's out of print now, but sometimes you can still get, people sell used versions of the book on Amazon. It's called Continuity. Ab Fab Continuity. It's one of the best books on a TV show I've ever seen. It is so beautiful that I bought multiple copies because I'm crazy that way. I just love it so much. It is basically, so back in the day when they shot Ab Fab, still to this day they do it in some productions. Now they also do it digitally, but back in the day you would take Polaroid pictures of your actors with the makeup, with the costume before the scene, for the main scene. They take photos of them with Polaroids for continuity purposes, because let's say you have to, stop filming that day, you got to start filming the next day, or you start filming the next week, and you have to have your character in the same costume and same makeup again because the scene continues. That's why you have continuity. And you have an entire department dedicated to continuity on a film production that is responsible for taking photos, taking notes of your characters in full makeup, in full costume. If there's a little detail, like for example, Jack Torrance in The Shining, when Jack Nicholson, he starts off dressed all clean, but then he gets beat up by Shelley, and then he gets a scar, he gets a blood stain here, the shirt gets a tear here. All of that has to be documented so that when Jack Nicholson goes back into that character from that moment on, 1 month later, when they're filming again that sequence, he has to have that tear here, that red spot on his, everything has to be exactly like it was when they stopped filming a month earlier. That's continuity. And in order for the movie to be credible, in order for your audience to believe you, you need continuity. You see how that translates into fashion. A brand needs continuity if it wants its reputation to grow, to flourish, if they want to be credible to their audiences. This is why I search for those special pieces at these heritage brands, these brands that have been around for hundreds of years. And people tell me, Dacob, you're so boring. You buy the basic pieces. I'm like, no, you don't get it. I buy the continuity pieces. When I buy a Speedy, it's because this is continuity for the brand. This is from the past and into the future. You're not going to see me buy some Oompa Loompa seasonal bag from Louis. The bucket can, what for? What for? It means nothing to me. It has no value. There's no continuity there. And you might say, but hold on a minute, you're too traditionalist. There's no evolution then either. Yes, there is evolution. There is. Because guess what? The Speedy, for example, this is not the exact shape it had when it was first released decades ago. They implement slight changes from time to time. For example, just a slight little example. These little tabs here, right? They used to be flat leather. Just a couple of years ago, they've implemented an update. Now they're padded. Now this little tab of leather, actually there's a soft thing underneath it. Slight alterations, slight additions to, shifts, perfecting a design, modifying an inch or two the shape of something. I live for that shit. Like that, the archival beast in me lives for that. Pardon me. So in fact, for me, this is the updated version of the Speedy. Now, evolution can go in other directions as well. A certain bag, even though it's a seasonal bag, might strike the chord of the times, like the Neverfull. It's become a classic. It's not a very old bag in terms of how old other bags at Louis Vuitton are, but it is a classic, nevertheless. So Neverfull is in that classic range. The Noe with the champagne history is a classic. Speedy, super classic. Keepall from the 30s, super classic. Alma, also. Those are the bags that I don't suffer buying new, and yes, they cost a lot. I think this thing is not worth the price that I paid for it. The story of it is worth the price I paid for it. The continuity is worth the price I paid for it. It wouldn't be worth it if I bought a seasonal piece, especially Yayoi Kusama that they charge double for. But anyway, we've reached 300 likes. Now we're gonna, let me premiere one of the two because we got two songs. Now, hashtag one Coco, they say Louis Vuitton bags have microchips. Is that true? Yes. The current, not just their bags. I even have here the packing cube. Also, this one has a microchip right behind the leather tab, right behind there. All right. Okay, so wait, which one am I going to premiere? I'm going to premiere... Okay, let's premiere the AI one, because there's two songs, and I'm not going to give you the second one that easy, because the second one is insane. We're going to need at least 500 likes for the second one, but the first one is a doozy. Remember how a couple of times, well, since many, many months, we have the live in ferret. We started developing our own language here on my channel. We do live in ferret, die in ferret. Then we do cha, 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 cha. But then, remember how we also say a lot, would go. And then somebody turned it into we go. Well, the OG version is would go. And then we would say like a would go. Now, that has become the new song of the Fashion Bunker. Are you ready for this? Let's dance. Hit it. Y'all, can I ooh, cha, let me turn on my diva fan, cha. Okay, Jesus hates it. Audrey says again, live in ferret. Was this awesome? I think it was awesome. Jason says lol. Audrey says again. Again, Carla's laughing. Replay. Raven Ferret. Yes, it's the rave version, y'all. And Moshe says, what would you do if when you okay, so he said yes, we'll go. We'll go. Hit it. Julie's waiting for the album to hit Spotify. Andrea says, I'm hearing would go, like we're singing to a dancing tree. Sure. Or, some other wood. Why not? Iconics is trippy. Just say it. So this was the new hit single. Oh, we need a bunker album. Eurovision 2023 finalist, says Jesus. Asa says, yeah. Very Madonna. Yeah. The octaves, says Lily Bomfy. Dovey says, lol, I want to play this song when my husband asks me out. Oh, that's so cute. And then you tell him, yeah, by saying, yeah, we'll go. Yeah, we'll go. Like the new Vaquetta. Watch out, Tomorrowland, says Tracy Bullock. Jesus needs to sing the next one. The next one, Madonna needs this song for the upcoming tour, right? Says James Nation. Sell these as ringtones, says Kev. Oh my God, Maneskin new cover. Ew, Madame, gross. No, what I want to say is the next one is sung by a real person, not an AI. And it is insane. And in fact, because it's sung by a real person, it needs more likes. We need to get to 500 likes to hear the next song. And the next one is, you know what I mean? Bomb Diggity. Next one is Bomb Diggity. It is real. It's not an AI. And
I actually did it myself. Yeah. Nice.
I didn't do it myself, of course. I don't have the voice for it, but somebody did. Oh, Molly. Yeah, we should call it now the Oompa Loompa remix. Julie says, next opening act for the Grammys. I'm excited for this next one. Debbie, it's a doozy. Someone used that for a runway show, says Ann K. Kev says, Dacob singing debut. Oh, I would love that. And if only I could sing. Is it sung by Noah's Ark? Noah farted the song. It's literally farted out. Oh, please, the live stream. I need to listen before going to bed. Says, hi, Sky. Thumb up the live stream. Just says 180 likes. Come on. Bust your bussies open, y'all. Yep. We are at 321 thumbs up. When we reach 500, we get the next hit. The farting ferret. No, it's not a farting ferret. It's really cool. Sounded like Paris Hilton. Ciao.
I'm Paris.
Hi. Itchy. You use unlicensed music to review runways. Next one will go, please. I use unlicensed music. Yeah, I use copyright-free music from the YouTube library for the fashion show reviews. Now, I think you would go crazy if you would hear would go for like 10 minutes straight. So I would not torture you like that when I review a fashion show, but it would be kind of cool to create a song for a fashion show so that we can actually play it when we do review a fashion show. Like we would have a happy one, a sad one, depending on what the fashion is. The fashion show all dark? Is it all super happy? And then we could like play them accordingly. Luxury Lover 85. Dacob, what do you think about the Louis Vuitton Pochette Métis? You're amazing. Oh, thank you so much, Luxury Lover. The Métis is not my cup of tea, although I do love the fact that they make it in monogram. But way too many people have had issues with the interior, with the microfiber material and how it's like sewn onto the sides. It kind of can crack there. So I'm a little bit hesitant. Time for my coconut snack. I need a drink. I'm dehydrated. I have to find my water or a Coca-Cola. Oh, wait, no, it's fine. I can't move. Everything's reflecting everything. Okay. As your vampire, dark and mysterious would be amazing. Hold on, you guys. I'll be right back. Let me just get a drink. Oh, it's not working. All right. Well, then I'm not going to. Hi, guys. Hey guys, I'm back with my drink. Oh my God, I had to get a drink because I forgot to have my drinks here. I was dehydrated. Blueberries and blackberries are also good for a keto low carb diet. Yes, they're amazing for a low carb diet. The song is waking you up, Side Sky. I got to go dancing. Cheers, sweetie darling. Thank you, Janine. Okay. Coconut all between my teeth now. So listen, I have to tell you, the article continues, right? And they said at a certain point, they're talking about pearls, brooches, Y2K fashion being the must-haves of 2023, also when it comes to secondhand. And listen what they say. Said, but what's old, or perhaps more properly vintage, continues to strike the fancy of younger shoppers, said Skoda. Data from searches on the Real Reels website show that pearl jewelry, ultra-feminine dresses, low-heeled mules, tailored suits, loafers, and brooches are emerging as 2023's most bankable fashion trends. Also hot, Y2K fashion. For the love of me, I don't know why Y2K fashion is hot. I still find it really disgusting. I hated it back then and I hate it now. But maybe some Y2K bags I would still love today, but not the fashion. Interesting how pearls are in. Coincidentally, do you know why pearls are in? because of Vivienne Westwood. The Vivienne Westwood choker or longer orb, bas relief orb necklace, the regular pearl necklace, the 3-strain pearl necklace, the broken pearl necklace, the Nelsa pearl necklace, the one that I have, the really big one. Those are all Vivienne Westwood's inventions from the 90s that since quite some time now have had a resurgence. And in fact, when a lot of young kids today don't even know who Vivienne Westwood is, they still know what a Vivienne Westwood pearl orb necklace / choker is. And a lot of the kids that don't know who Vivienne Westwood is are still wearing a Vivienne Westwood pearl necklace. Now, granted, there's a lot of those fakes out there. You could like even get them for like $10 on Amazon, I've seen, but I do not recommend getting them because the originals don't cost that much and you can get the original and you should support the original. Well, at this point, when Vivienne is no longer with us, I don't know if it's worth supporting the brand anymore, but it is what it is. Oh, interesting. Brooches so you can make an outfit look like it's from Chanel, says Size Guy. Yes. Madame says it is dead. Julie Scott says, I like some of the Y2K fashion, but not all. Styling Secret says, I don't miss the muffin tops. Ryan says, Marge Simpson is slaying. Dee says, I love pearls. They always look beautiful and classy. And Kay says, I like to dabble. Oh, it's gone. Oh, no. I like to dabble in the obnoxious on occasion, but all of Y2K, nah. Size Guy says, I'm not a fan of the hobo bags. Really? I don't mind the hobo bags, you see. Tarima Caruso says, I don't miss the muffin tops either. Aisha says, I'm a big fan of pearls. Me too. Anja says, we don't have enough writing on our behinds these days. Oh my God. The John Richmond butt writing on denim. Terrible. Hi, Jason. Jason M. Hi, Dacob. Just wanted to say hi. Love your videos and love the lives. Big fan. Hey, Jason. Hi. Welcome, my love. And Styling Secret says, insanely pointed shoes with a tiny little kitten heel. Coco Kitty says, I only like the chunky sneakers from Yuck era. Comfy shoes, footwear. Julie says, I just got some black boots with pearls on them. They look awesome with my pearl orb Vivienne Westwood choker. There you go. That's my little punk. Prof says, hi, Dacob and friends. Been a while. Hi, Prof Melvin. How's it going, sweetie? Size Guy says, too saggy for me, the hobo bags. They can be really big. I see that. But I'm telling you, big bags are coming back. They really are. And then the Hermes boutiques are going to be flooded with Birkin and Kelly's miniatures and 25s, and nobody's going to want them. They're all going to want the 40. Brown and Chatty says, Dacob, you probably told your viewers before, but when did you first hear Vivienne? And can you remember when and how it influenced your fashion art views? Oh my God, I don't even remember. It's like Vivienne Westwood has always been a part of my life, just like I can't really remember when I was first confronted with Chanel and also with Louis. I do remember Louis being always connected in my mind through ad campaigns and movies that I watched, like this lifestyle, not necessarily of the rich and famous, but a certain type of leisure, like a lifestyle of safe traveling, like a lifestyle of just comfortable accessories that are going to follow you through your life, that just makes your life easier. And it really does. I mean, all of these little pieces that I buy from Louis, they're amazing. They make me feel at home. They're amazing. And they're not there to show off. I don't buy, most of the things I buy, I use them at home anyway. Like all of these little boxes for my makeup and stuff like that, I use them at home. You don't see me carrying my packing cube out on the street. It's something other people don't see. You guys see it because I share with you my makeup and stuff, but it's just a wonderful way to feel comfortable. Now with Vivienne Westwood, it's like she has influenced the fashion world so much that, in fact, only later in my life, when I started learning more about fashion, did I realize that most of the things that I loved from designers, she did it. They just copied her. She did it first. So this is something that's why I'm telling you, like, I feel like Vivienne has always been in my life, because even though I figured it out later on in my life, I figured it out only later on as I was learning more about fashion, but I did figure it out eventually, that all the things I liked the most about fashion, she invented them. She created them. And when I did learn about her, I realized that she did most of the most fascinating and best innovations in fashion from the 70s onwards up until the mid 90s, late 90s. And she still was doing it today, even though she decided to limit herself in terms of she fought for fashion as a statement that activists made. So her last stage of her career, her designs were aimed to dress activists. She was making clothes for activists. That is the ultimate evolution of Vivienne Westwood, not the orb pearl necklaces. She didn't care for those anymore. She was on another level. Not, all the stuff that we know, like I say, in Asia, they love the Lolita look. They love the Alice in Wonderland look. That's Vivienne from the 90s. She's somewhere else now, The Vivienne pieces, the last Vivienne pieces that I have from her that she designed herself, that was the sweater that you see me wear in the movie Art Lovers Unite. The one where she loved knit. Knitwear was her passion. She designed all the knitwear pieces in the collections. That knitwear sweater, I also have, I have a long sleeve version and the vest. Politicians Are Criminals knit sweater with all the holes as if they were bitten and scorched by animals chipping off at the sweater. She designed every hole personally. That's Vivienne from the last era, making her square cut shirts that I've been wearing in a few of my videos lately that you've seen about climate change. The shirts are square so that you would have no loss of material. It's a genius design. It's a brilliant design to not create waste. And of course, they have prints on them: climate revolution, climate change, do it yourself. It's literally clothes with slogans on them for activists. Genius. So that's the Vivienne Westwood of her last years, right? But when I was growing up and learning about fashion and realizing that the things that I loved were mostly influenced by or first created by Vivienne Westwood herself, that's when I realized, oh, hold on a minute. Unconsciously or subconsciously, Vivienne was in my life even before I knew she existed. I love her so much. She's just, and she was modest, it's not like, she would acknowledge if somebody copied her, like she said about John Galliano, they asked her, like, what do you think about John Galliano's fashion and designs? And she said, oh, I love them. What's not to love? They're all my designs. I mean, the shade, but she laughed it off and moved on. It's not like I'm going to sue him because he's copying. She doesn't care. She's very punk. She's like, whatever, you like doing my stuff, do my stuff, girl. I see you, but keep doing your stuff. And, yeah. So there's that. Now, but interesting what this article says also about pearls. Listen to this, you guys. Very interesting how, because of the recession and because people are more weary about, okay, how they're going to spend their money on something, how now all of a sudden pearls are in a battlefield against diamonds. Listen to this. Pearls are a value play. They are less expensive than diamonds, but they are too timeless, just like diamonds. Interesting how people are looking for that timeless thing. Again, that word, we've been talking about continuity. And pearls are just as good a continuity piece as diamonds are, but have a much better price. They're much more affordable. And so people they want something that shows stability and continuity, but why spend so much money if pearls are just as good, if not even better than diamonds? I personally prefer pearls to diamonds.
Bravo for all your
I think diamonds are tacky.
and videos.
Diamonds, they were artificially made to be expensive by De Beers and Co. because they wanted people to spend a lot of money for these things that are not that rare at all. Other things are more rare than diamonds, but we've just been manipulated to believe that they are rare, exceptional, forever. Pearl is way more beautiful than a diamond. Even glass pearls are more beautiful than diamonds, to me, but to each their own. But I love the fact that people are questioning this and they're like going back to it. Hold on, what is heritage? What is continuity? Oh, I see. Diamonds and pearls both are continuity, but pearls are the fraction of the cost of diamonds. Let's go with pearls then. Oversized clothing in suits or dresses is popular because casual comfort remains popular with consumers. Demand for clothing and anything from the 90s and early 2000s is strong in great measure because fashions aimed at Gen Z buyers are so commercialized that they are like walking advertisements for brands, said Skoda. They see buying vintage clothing at resale as a way to be different, creative, and sustainable. So Vivienne's message, once again, she's ahead of her time. She's been talking about this way before Greta Thunberg was even born, you guys. Before Greta Thunberg and her entire movement of Save the Planet was even born, Vivienne was already pioneering all of this. It's just that nobody wanted to listen to her, or very few people did. But she was already creating the clothes for all of this. She was already talking about this movement. She was already trying to find ways to save the planet, to prevent climate change, to be more sustainable. She started implementing so many new techniques when it came to designing clothes so that there would be less waste created in the process of creating clothes, so that there would be less to none toxic release of materials, of chemicals into the soil after garments are painted, colored, after textiles were dyed. Now, unfortunately, and this is why some people criticize Vivienne, and it's really sad because a lot of people fail to realize that, unfortunately, she did not own her company fully. So she did not have full power over her company to decide this goes, this doesn't go. She had a business partner who invested heavily in the 80s into Vivienne Westwood when Vivienne Westwood was failing. So he also had a lot of power, and he was all about the money. And so he would push that money aspect and she would push the sustainability aspect, and they would fight against each other all the time. Vivienne Westwood would be such a stronger brand today if she actually had the full power all these years, but she didn't. This is the sad truth. And so when people criticize her, they fail to realize they're not really criticizing her. They're actually criticizing her business partner who didn't let her do what she wanted to do fully. So she started working on her own Vivienne Foundation, her own new brand, new logo, because she wasn't allowed to use the Vivienne Westwood name as a logo because that's the company Vivienne Westwood, which is not fully owned by her. So you see, there's a lot of complications there. There was the World's End line, which she had some control over, but those were pieces produced in such small quantities. They were like a symbolic gesture. Those are the pieces that I would buy mostly. Those and the Africa, made in Africa, the Kenya pieces, the Kenya bags. That has been the most true and authentic Vivienne Westwood of the past years. World's End label and Made in Africa, the Kenya label. Those were the two Vivienne Westwood labels I would buy the most. And within the World's End label, you would get to see and experience who Vivienne Westwood really was. So for example, she would say, well, okay, fine. So you're doing all of these other clothes for the other side of Vivienne Westwood that I can't control, but you're going to have leftovers because you're doing a lot of stuff so I'll take the leftovers and I'll make a couple of pieces for World's End from the leftovers. So we reduce waste. So there was these one-off pieces that you would get if you went to World's End in London, and they would only sell them there because they produced only like 10 or whatever was left of the materials. You would get the most incredible stuff. The genius of Vivienne Westwood was hiding there in plain sight and yet hidden. Or for the gold label, with Andreas Kronthaler, her husband, they would also work with whatever materials, like if they would go on holiday or something, he would collect stuff from the beach, like seashells or whatever he would find the ocean would throw out. And then he would take that into the ateliers, and then they would make jewelry out of that. So a lot of those jewelry pieces or the costume jewelry pieces that you would see on the gold label, which now became the Andreas Kronthaler for Vivienne Westwood label, those pieces on the runway, you would ask often, I would ask like, oh, where can I buy this? They would be like, oh, sorry, that's a one-off. It was on the runway, and then they sold it in one boutique in London, and that's it, because that's that one piece. They have mastered the sustainability of fashion, but you needed to know where to look for it. You needed to know how to look for it. And the Vivienne Westwood brand was not really very keen on pushing forward and raising awareness about that side of the creative genius that was Vivienne Westwood, the person. And this is something that I know. And so I'm telling you now, Vivienne Westwood, the woman / creative designer and artist and free thinker and activist, she was not behind most of the clothes that was produced in the last years of her brand. Her name stood there because she did not own that logo anymore fully, but she was behind all of the World's End pieces, the World's End label, and she was also behind the knitted garments within the gold label, but also in the World's End label. And this is something to consider if you really want to dig into the true Vivienne Westwood. You have to find her. You have to look for her, just like Alice in Wonderland. You have to look for her in the right spots. And sometimes you need to drink that potion to make yourself very small so that you can enter the right places. And sometimes you have to drink the other potion and make yourself really big in order to knock down all the rocks in your path in order to get to the right spot. But once you get to the right spot, you will be mesmerized forever. She was a mystery that way. She really was. She really was. But she worked a lot with glass pearls as well. I see like Debbie's asking freshwater pearls. Some of the pieces made for gold label maybe had some freshwater pearls, but they would never purchase freshwater pearls because of the way that you have to take them out of the oyster and stuff like that. So a lot of it would be glass pearls instead. Are you talking about sweetwater pearls as opposed to freshwater pearls, you mean? And then like wild pearls, the imperfection ones? Yeah, I love the ones that are imperfect. I love the ones that are also kind of like warped. South Sea pearls, we're talking about pearls now. Poor Coco and Vivienne both taken advantage by their business partners. Yeah. They have a lot of similarities with both of them. I did shyly, it's not in the documentary because before we started filming, we were just sitting and getting hooked up to the microphones in the foyer of the museum, Vivienne and I, and the talk of Coco Chanel just came up briefly, but she did not seem interested to talk about her. She was, I know one of her assistants was like, yeah, what do you think about Coco Chanel? And so cute. She said, I know who she was. Of course she would know who she was, you know. She's like, yeah, I know who she was, but that's it. She didn't want to say anything more. So I don't think she was really impressed. That part, I feel like, because Vivienne was so busy with acting, like she was more concerned about the fact, like, so they brought us water before we started filming. And the first thing she asked her assistant was, is that a glass bottle? I don't want to drink from a plastic bottle. She was that extreme, you know, and he had to, you know, he said, no, it's a glass bottle. It's not a plastic bottle. So she's more concerned about all of that, her surroundings, that that there's no plastics and stuff like that. That was more concerning to her. So she failed to see some things sometimes, like, I don't know how she saw Chanel, but to me, as a person who analyzes these figures into depth, to me, Coco and Vivienne are very similar in many ways, in ways that I think Vivienne probably didn't even care to think of, because she had other things. She prioritized other things in different ways, I believe. So it's a pity, because I would have loved to have spoken with her about it and to kind of like tell her, like, you guys are similar, and not for the reasons you might think I'm telling you you're similar. Like, I'm not trying to provoke you now, because I don't know, maybe you don't like her and now you're going to feel like, what are you trying to tell me? Like, what am I, like this, I don't know what she thinks Coco Chanel was, but I'm like, but she also revolutionized fashion in many ways, just like you have. And she was a punk before punk even existed. There was just no term for it back then. And, they both played the establishment. You could be like, but how can punk become a millionaire? Vivienne was a millionaire too, and a punk at the same time. How is that possible? Well, you infiltrate the system and then you break the system from within. There's no other way. That is very punk. But so, anyway, the difference is, however, that Vivienne did not, come out of an orphanage in a time where women had absolutely no chance and had to fight for her life to survive and then become a great person. That's what Coco had to do. Coco had it much more difficult than Vivienne, because female rights were also non-existent basically when Coco was little, A lot of the fights were already fought by the time Vivienne was a teenager, and she had more rights than Coco ever had when she was her age. So there's that difference between them for sure, but in terms of the outcome and the revolution, they're quite similar. Now, Coco was also an advocate of sustainability. In fact, Coco never created prêt-à-porter. She did haute couture. She did create that one piece you love and keep altering it, keep changing it, keep fixing it. As long as you live, you wear that piece. She wasn't pushing the prêt-à-porter. Coco Chanel did not do 10 collections a year. She did 2, winter, summer. And you could come in between if you wanted to, if you were rich enough and famous enough, you could go to her and ask to create a special outfit for you, like they all do. All of these like bigger brands do that still today, but there were 2 collections a year. And now they do 10. It has nothing to do with Coco Chanel anymore. It's just greed. And also, Vivienne only did 2 collections a year. Not even. She would do only stuff when there was material left over. So the World's End collections were not really summer and winter. They were whenever materials were available. Super genius. Yeah, Holy Grace. I know 10 collections a year will blow my mind too. It's just insane. And they're going to do more. They're probably going to do 12 at a certain point. 1 a month, I wouldn't say Vivienne Westwood had stronger values than Chanel. No, I don't think so. They had differing values, both very strong values for each of the two women. You know. And Andrea says, aha, great point, Dacob, about just the haute couture. Yeah. And the haute couture at Chanel was priced back then as Pret-a-Porter is priced now. But the Pret-a-Porter now is worse quality than Pret-a-Porter used to be in the 80s. It's like, so what are we talking about here? The only thing that you could purchase at Chanel outside of haute couture was costume jewelry. Of course, perfumes, cosmetics, fine. But fashion-wise, usually when Coco was alive, a brooch or a necklace was something that would be made with your ensemble. So you would purchase a piece of haute couture clothing from Coco Chanel's show. If the piece was shown with a brooch, that brooch came with the jacket. So you couldn't buy the brooch separately. The brooch came with the jacket. So costume jewelry back then was seen more as an accessory to the outfit. The outfit was the main importance. But Coco still made a few. In fact, if you go to see archival images of 31 Rue Cambon, you can see in the window of the shop the perfumes and costume jewelry. You could purchase costume jewelry as separates as well. Those are the iconic pieces that I hunt down still today, and I look for it within the Gousson creative team, what they do for Chanel, because they know the archives, because they used to make them back in the day as well. Gripois for poured glass and Gousson, usually for metal, brass coated with 24 karat gold. And in fact, these are coated in 24 karat gold because Gousson made them. This is old school Chanel. They still do it that way, but you gotta know. You gotta know what you're looking for. So literally the true heritage of Coco Chanel is the 255 bag, haute couture, and some costume jewelry pieces that Gousson makes. And if Gripois does poured glass, that's it. The Massaro shoe, Massaro only does haute couture shoes for haute couture Chanel, but the Pret-a-Porter shoes for Chanel are not made by Massaro. Massaro doesn't have the capacity to do all of that. They do haute couture, they don't do Pret-a-Porter. But I would make an exception if you're going to buy slingbacks. Of course, the slingback, flat and the high heel, well, the mid heel, those are like still heritage Chanel. So it's the slingback for me. It's the costume jewelry. In the costume jewelry, I also consider camellias because those are handmade. They are the only haute couture pieces you can buy in a Chanel boutique without having to go to 31 Rue Cambon and make an appointment. Because the camellias are handmade. That's why they cost a lot. Chanel camellias, they're flowers as brooches. Those are handmade. So that, to me, I consider that haute couture within a boutique. Costume jewelry, Gousson and Gripois, and haute couture fashion, and the slingbacks, and the 255 bag. That's it. That's Chanel to me. Everything else they sell you at Chanel boutiques today, to me, is not Chanel. So what is Chanel today? 255 bag, haute couture, spring, summer, fall, winter, slingbacks, camellias and other flowers that are handmade, and Gousson and Gripois costume jewelry. Those are the five, the magical number 5. There you have it, Chanel number 5. That's the Chanel number. Of course, the perfumes as well, duh. But in terms of fashion, that's it. And perfume-wise, it's Chanel number 5, Chanel number 19, Cuir de Russie, Bois des Îles, Gardenia, number 22, and Cristal, give or take. Some people say she didn't really smell it. I believe she smelled it. So I still include Cristal Eau de Toilette in that selection of the pure quintessential Chanel perfumes that are still available today. And that's it. That's all you need for a Chanel look. That's it. I mean, haute couture, it's unaffordable today, but basically that's it. I thought she basically invented costume jewelry. Hey Nicole, how's it going, my love? She did not invent costume jewelry per se, but what she did do is she gave costume jewelry the credibility. She gave costume jewelry the value of real jewelry. She gave costume jewelry the respect of something that is art. And hence why I repeat, when I see Gucci Chanel pieces and people look at me like, are you crazy? You want to spend that much money on it? I'm like, but for fake jewelry, I'm like, this is not fake jewelry. Just because it doesn't have a diamond in it, or because it doesn't have some other precious gem or stone in it, or just because it's not made out of pure gold, doesn't mean that it's not jewelry to me. You know? And if it's done in the right way, it belongs to the history of Chanel. And when they're doing, in particular, certain Maltese crosses, still today, the design team, they really tap into the DNA of Coco Chanel. Now, they have to add the double C because that's something that they do now. You know, Pret-a-Porter always has to have the double C visible somewhere. That's something Coco didn't do when she was alive. But take away that double C, certain pieces are quintessentially Chanel. Costume jewelry wise. And, you know, even more proof that they are particularly difficult to make, those are the pieces that usually arrive last every season. So remember the Métier d'Art Byzantine cross that I ordered from 2022? So the collection hit stores, hit boutiques in beginning of June, like I think first or second week of June 2022. And then the first to arrive are clothes and a couple of bag styles. Clothes, bags, and shoes arrive relatively on time. So that means that the clothes are produced really quickly. It also means that the raw materials for the clothes, like where did they get them from? Like to be that fast in manufacturing, it means that they don't have really issues to manufacture those. It also means that they can be really fast at manufacturing those. It also means that they reduce quality control because they deliver like this, the clothes. And then the bags arrive, the shoes arrive, and then 3 months later, so June, all of June, July, August, September, 4 months. 4 months after the Métier d'Art collection launched, the last thing to arrive was my Byzantine cross. Made by Gucci, not sourced out to be quickly made somewhere else. It's because Gucci has so much to do. They're backed up with all the stuff they're doing. They were late. They were 4 months late. And that's also kind of how I know, okay, this is a good piece. It's taking them way longer than expected because they're taking their good time to do this stuff properly. And now from the cruise collection, the cruise collection hit November, beginning of November. Then we had all of November, December, January, just this week, 3 months in, almost 3 months in, my sales associate writes me to tell me that something that I was looking for just arrived now. Gucci. So that tells you a lot. You know, the clothes were all there already. They arrived in November, December. The collection was there. The pre-orders that people made were there, whether it be leather garments or knit garments or all the, you know, sequin pieces, they were all there. But these smaller items that not many were ordered, they take a long time. I mean, late but worth the wait. I believe so, Debs, but I mean, to each their own, right? Because some people just don't like that stuff. 90s Chanel collections were amazing. I agree with you. Oh, yeah, Jesus. True. I forgot Pour Monsieur. Yes, Pour Monsieur is also on the list because it came out. Actually, Pour Monsieur came out in 1955, the same year that the 255 bag was released. So Pour Monsieur and the 255 bag are like one. She validated costume jewelry, Aisha. Yeah, that's right. Kev says, so do the essays know which pieces are Gusan made? Kev, that's a really good question. I do believe that the store managers, if they really wanted to dig deeper into where each piece is made, from where it's been sourced, I think they could find out. I think they could find out, but I believe that the sales associates cannot. At least my sales associate that I've been working with for like 10 years, right? Can never tell, they never know. They never know. They always tell me, like, we have no means to find out. But of course, when they decide a collection, I'm sure, the creative team, the design team, or whoever's in charge of production, they have to decide. They have to source out, okay, well, this factory is going to make this manufacturer is going to do that. You're going to be responsible for this. You're going to be responsible for that. So there is a way to find out. But unfortunately, the sales associates, just with the tablets that they're given with their phones, and they have access to the list of all the products, those lists, because we looked in the past, we looked. Now, for example, for the Byzantine cross, I know that Gusan made them because there was a whole interview with the lady from Gusan making them right before the fashion show. She was making the pieces for the fashion show, and she's like, yeah, Gusan is, we take much pride into this, and we pay attention that the piece is the same, the front and the back, that it's beautiful, that even the hidden side is beautiful as the visual side, blah, 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 all that stuff. And so, it was like a whole conversation with Gusan while she was making the Byzantine crosses. So I know that's Gusan. And because they had a specific way of doing the burst of sun with the double C, and also because they have this technique of hammering their prototypes, that's how I knew that the earrings are Gusan as well, because they have the exact same burst of sun in the back and the hammer technique. So, and they're made in France. You're not going to have Gusan made in Italy. I mean, in the future, Gusan might open laboratories also in Italy and workshops in Italy. But for now, it's like, if it's Gusan, it has to be made in France. It can't be made in Italy. So if you see a piece of costume jewelry made in Italy from Chanel, it's not Gusan. Chances are it's not Gusan. I mean, from the future, we don't know. But in the past, if it's made in Italy, it's not Gusan. And also, I got to say, you also see it because I have a couple of Chanel crosses that are made in Italy. They are different. They're beautiful too, but they lack a bit of that heft, something historical about how they treat metal at Gusan that the made in Italy pieces don't have. The made in Italy pieces are usually more clean. They look more machine made. And the made in France Gusan pieces, they look more handmade. They're just really beautiful. It's what can I say? I'm in love with them. But as I said, it's not to everyone's liking. And they are by far not the best sellers at Chanel. People usually don't care for those pieces, That's why they produce only a small amount. They keep producing them out of prestige because they're like, this is part of our heritage. We're going to keep making them, even though they're not best sellers. Hey, Bakery Mafia. I want to see a piece in person. You photograph them beautifully, but I feel they are even more fabulous in person. They have a heft in person that, of course, a photo cannot translate, right? So first of all, they're really heavy. And then they're very attractive because they're asymmetric. So they make you look at them because you see something is off, and yet they're so exquisite that they capture your gaze longer, because when something is perfectly aligned, you're like, okay, yeah, perfect. But if something is slightly off, you keep looking at it, trying to find out what it is. The magic, that's the magic of Gusan, and it's always slightly off. I mean, even, you see, this is not a perfect circle. It's like a drop. It's like elongated in the top and it's hammered to the side, and Coco Chanel's face is kind of faded here. This is Coco Chanel's profile, right? Let me take it off. I can show you. So you see the imperfection of the circle? There's no light back here. But you can see this is her face, her profile. She has a necklace on, right? And then she has a ribbon in her hair. And then when we flip it, it's even more asymmetrical, right? Because you see there's this like burst of sun. We have the stamp with the Made in France logo right there and the year of production and where it was made. And then you have, hold on, I just don't want it to fall out of my hand right now. And you have the sunburst and the double C popping. It's elevated. And it's kind of all hammered around, right? I'm gonna focus. There you have it. Anyway, it's kind of hard to focus, right? And I mean, and they made this into a clip-on earring, which is like insane. Yeah, so it's all asymmetric, really complicated. So they do the prototype by hand, they create the mold, and then they pour the brass in to make the copies, right? And then they bathe it into 24 karat gold, and the piece is done. They're sturdy, and they're heavy, they're substantial. But a lot of people that are used to, you know, sorry, I'm going to throw shade here, but it's that type of person. Usually the new rich, you know, that can afford anything, and they want just, it has to be clean, it has to be perfect, it doesn't have to have a dent, it's not supposed to have a dent. I need my white sneakers from, I don't know, La Vuitton with 1001 studs on them. Oh my God, so tacky. And then like, no crack, nothing wrong with it. It has to be perfect, perfect, perfect. White, 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 white. My rings have to be perfect. I need my Alhambra necklaces. And Cliff and Arpels. And then, you know, they go to Chanel and they have to have the bag, right? But then when you show them this, they're like, that's imperfect. You know, I am perfect because I have money now. So I am perfect. So everything I buy has to reflect my perfection. And this is how you see immediately, and I've been working in stores a lot as well, so I know this is immediately how you can see, okay, that's that type of person. You know immediately. You know. But also there's something to be said about French style, you know. They just have it in them. It's this nonchalant way of being. They just breathe style and elegance. And there's elegance in imperfection. You just got to know how to balance it. And when you balance imperfection, you're a winner. That's the highest form of elegance and design and style. In fact, even if you go into the courts of the kings of Louis XIV or whatever, if you look at their furniture, sure, it's perfectly made. Of course, it's made for the kings. But even within the Rococo, or even within Baroque, even within different styles throughout the centuries, really, when you look at the gold-plated pieces in furniture, right, with the volte, with the roundedness of it, and you're going to notice that the furniture usually has an asymmetry to it. Like, for example, one wave, one curve on one side of the table is going to be curved inwards, and on the other side is going to be curved outwards. There's these like kind of games of balancing out left and right, which is so masterfully done. And it's a very, very French thing. So there is an imperfection made perfect by the harmony of tension of the gaze. It attracts you to keep looking at it. Oh my God, when I see a piece like that, I cannot resist. I am completely mesmerized and I have to have it. And that's usually the case with Goussin Chanel costume jewelry. Nobody else does that. Nobody. There was a time in the 90s when Christian Lacroix used to do it. In fact, the amazing pieces that we see from the Ab Fab show, right? Edina Monsoon wearing those huge crosses on velvet necklaces. Those were Christian Lacroix crosses. They're all asymmetric. They're all done in that style. They're all kind of hammered, gold plated. You know, one side of the cross is bigger than the other. They're hanging a little bit to the side. There's always this tension to them. Amazing. Amazing. Those are the best pieces. Character exists in the imperfections. Totally agree, Letty. Yeah, Rococo says Holy Grace. Right. Carrie Fernandez. Balanced imperfection is one of the best descriptions I've heard. Thank you, Carrie. This is why we're here. We are balanced and perfect. This is also one of the reasons why, you see, it's slightly, this kind of couch is kind of slightly off to the side, all done on purpose to create a tension. It's not flat, it's all turned a little bit to the side, so it creates depth. It's an emotional aesthetic. Thanks, Alex. Oh, Ab Fab is amazing. I do hope they make a new one. That's why the CC earrings sell so well. They're into that pretty and cutesy stuff. Yeah, and like apparently perfect, whatever, you know. So tired with Cartier and Van Cleef & Arpels all over Instagram, Asia. I know. I mean, Cartier has some wonderful jewelry, but I think if you really want the wonderful jewelry from Cartier, you got to spend your, $200,000 upwards. The rest is mass produced. Oh, Pranay. Okay. Interesting comment. It's so nice to see Daniel's Christian Lacroix inspirations as seen in Schiaparelli today. I'm not a fan of his, of Daniel, and I'm not a fan of what he's doing at Schiaparelli at all. So I would rather see the Christian Lacroix brand revived, and I would rather see Christian Lacroix do his crosses again rather than what Schiaparelli is doing. I know people are loving it. The starlet wore it for the presidential inauguration, whatever. Adele opened her show in Vegas wearing Schiaparelli. Oh my God, what a travesty. I have to go because my friend is moving to Las Vegas and we're giving her to go away party. I hope the rest of your live stream goes great. Thank you so much, Julie. Have a wonderful, wonderful goodbye party with your friend. Blue Bannisters is bored with Van Cleef. I don't know which influencer started pushing Van Cleef and Arpels. Now, I know that a lot of people, also friends of mine, love it. And I'm not throwing shade at my friends. It's just like I think to myself, well, when did it become like a status symbol? I really missed that point. When on social media, who on Instagram made Van Cleef and Arpels, like all those little, trefoil things, quadrifoil things become like, somebody started it because it wasn't like this before. It wasn't like this. It was years ago. Van Cleef & Arpels was not, especially these Alhambra pieces were not popular at all. And I don't know when it started and why it started. Maybe because they were like the more affordable Van Cleef & Arpels pieces, and then somehow it became a trend. I really don't know. I don't love the love brace. I don't like the love bracelet, says D. I don't like a bracelet that requires a screwdriver to put on and take off. Heliotrope says, why are those Van Cleef & Arpels pieces even popular? I don't get it. Debbie says, fakes on Amazon of that and Cartier. Terema Caruso says, YouTubers, I think, made Van Cleef a thing. Blue Bannister says, it felt so sudden. To me, too. Who started the Birkin journey? Asia. Oh, Birkin. the Birkin. Miss Birkin started the Birkin journey. Holly Grace says, side note, it makes me cringe and laugh when fashion influencers pronounce Schiaparelli wrong and they announce themselves as a full-time influencer. What do they say instead of Schiaparelli? They say like Schiaparelli or something. Carla says, Paris Hilton and the Kardashians. Oh, they started the Van Cleef & Arpels? Alex says, Asia, a girl. Absolutely not. Ollie says, I prefer Chanel and Hermes fine jewelry. Yeah, me too. Me too. Sheridan says, with Van Cleef & Arpels, I always think of the movie Blue Jasmine with Cate Blanchett. Did she wear Van Cleef & Arpels? I mean, I know that she had the Birkin. She had the 35 in that movie. She might have had an Alhambra bracelet or necklace or something, but I can't remember. Oh, Blue Bannisters. Like I said, some of Cartier's designs, I also agree, are super edgy, but you need to spend a lot of money for those. Yeah, like the Panther collection. You got to spend a lot of money for those. And then they're beautiful. Jane says, some of Cartier's designs are kind of edgy. I read that one. Jane Church says, I work in an independent fine jewelry store. It really removes the magic of designer jewelry for me, knowing what the markup probably is. Yeah, there's that as well. It's a huge markup because you're paying for the prestige of the brand, when in reality, and a lot of those golds are not the best quality either. Wait, Alex, are you making fun? Alex says, oh my God, sk as sh is not a German word. No, it's Skash? What are you talking about? When in terms of like how to pronounce Schiaparelli? Letty says, same with Tiffany's. I come from a city where silver has been mined since the 1600s, and you can buy a beautiful piece by a local artisan for a fraction of the mass-produced items at Tiffany's. Deeply Erring says, I like all those jewelry brands. They're just everywhere. Asia says, I like Tiffany, but not since LVMH bought them. Sheridan says, in Blue Jasmine, she talks about the poor resale value once she is broke. G. Coops, Van Cleef & Arpels has a beautiful, tragic history, and when you walk into a store, they treat you like they appreciate your interest in their brand. Well, that's a good point. That is nice to hear. Schiaparelli. Alex says, I mean, when people mispronounce Schiaparelli, I get so mad. Same as bruschetta or maraschino. A lot of people say bruschetta. Yeah. A lot of people say bruschetta, machino, Latte Macchiato, Bulgari, Bottega Veneta, yeah, Versace, right? Versace, yeah, yeah. Versace, yeah. Louis Vuitton, yeah, Louis Vuitton. Raw Hammer Jewelry, says Steph. You best believe. Ollie says potato. And she says Hermes with an H, Hermes. Letty says the only jewelry pieces I'd love to have are the ones created for Maria Felix by Cartier in the 50s and 60s. Listen, I love Elsa Peretti's Tiffany pieces that Liza Minnelli still to this day wears. She wore it in the 70s. She wore all the Halston pieces, and she wore all Elsa Peretti for Halston Designs. but she still wears the cuffs. Elsa Peretti for Tiffany cuffs. And they still make those. I think those are beautiful. I don't even think they're really mass produced because not a lot of people buy them. You know what I mean? They're not that popular at the moment. But the fact that Liza Minnelli keeps wearing them, never stopped wearing them since the 70s. Icon. Icon. Yeah, we all love the movie. Versace is a classic. We can just say Luigi Vuitton. I love Luigi Vuitton. And guess who started the trend of designer pronunciations? Those are the videos that, oh my God, they made millions of views. Yves Saint Laurent was the one that made, what are we, like 2 million views by now? I think almost. Peretti and Paloma Picasso, yes. The cuffs are standouts for sure. Also, the little tiny silver, you know, the kind of the vases that are like the little pots that are carried on the necklace to put a little flower in them. That's also Elsa Peretti. Those are really cute too. I like those. Remember Versace and Jean-Claude Gaultier dress? What do you mean Jean-Claude? Jean-Paul Gaultier. Blonde and chatty. It was Jean-Claude. Who's Jean-Claude? Jean-Paul Gaultier dressed Madonna in the 90s. That was hideous. That was hideous. That was a masterpiece. I loved Gaultier and Madonna. I think the Blonde Ambition tour was her best dressed era ever. And she was in Gaultier. And then Madonna dressed in white at the Versace show when Gianni was still alive. Oh my God, that entire collection. He said, I was afraid. I didn't dare to do an all white collection. I always wanted to. And then I finally decided, okay, I'm going to do it. And it was such a beautiful collection. And that's what Madonna is wearing on the cover of her Something to Remember album. One of her best albums, by the way. Just saying, but anyway. Well, it's a collection. Bedtime Stories is one of her best albums, but Something to Remember is also great. I love the cover where she's like leaning on the thing like this with her head down. Anyway, she's wearing Versace in that one. Paloma Picasso perfume is great, this Pina. History in the making, says Debbie. Totally agree. Loewe just fell a recently impossible name. Loewe. Oh my God, Dacob. On your last live stream, you said Luigi Vuitton pizza. And my dog literally woke up because he thought we bought pizza. Oh no, I was laughing my heart out. Oh, that's so sad. I'm so sorry for your doggy. But yeah, it was basically this little beauty here, folded in its flat box, and it was like a pizza. So I said, Luigi Vuitton, la pizza è arrivata. Can't wait to see Madonna. She's amazing. The Queen, says Asia A. Let's hope the hip does not break before she performs in your stadium. High Five Helioshov says, what Jean-Claude did was hideous. What Jean-Paul did was great. Because there is a Jean-Claude. But there's also, you're not talking about Montana. Montana did great stuff though. Oh my God, Blonde and Chad, you hated the cone bras? Wow. I think you might be alone in this chat to have hated those, because those are like masterpieces. Well, to me at least they are. Yeah, Loewe is Spanish. The brand is Spanish. The word concept they made for it, not so much. Femto says, Dacob, I would love to see a review from you of the perfume Dent de Lait from Serge Vuitton. Please, it's poetry, and would love to hear a review. I do not have that perfume. I've never smelled. Have I smelled it? Not so sure. Maybe one day. Can't promise anything because all those perfumes are super expensive. Stop making me hungry, says Abba with the pizza. Just says, it's an arena tour. That's why the tickets are so expensive. Well, no, they were cheaper when she did the arena tour with Rebel Heart. I went to Rebel Heart. I went to MDNA. They were both much cheaper than this one. And it was in the same arenas. So she doubled her prices just like Chanel bags. Just like the double flaps doubled their price. You know, she went from 100 to 200. Just saying. Oh, interesting. Metallic milky perfume. You can recognize something as iconic without actually liking it for yourself, says Carrie. Only the ones with half a meter long cone liked the corsets. D says, the cone bra was something only Madonna could pull off. Alex says, oh, I see. The founder was Enrique Loewe Rosenberg. Okay, makes sense. Right? There you go. Rosberg, not Rosenberg. Kev says, oh my God, food coma. Just inhaled some pepperoni pizza. Good for you, girl. Balanchati says, the ones for the men actually, LOL, I forgot hers were subtle. Hers were more subtle. Yeah, the men had the pointy ones. Alex says, double flap, double price. Femto says, Den Delay is supposed to smell like your childhood. It can be in a good way or in a bad way. Depends on your childhood. Interesting. Listen, let me tell you, I'm going to be in Berlin on the 16th of February for the premiere of Art Lovers Unite, my movie with Vivienne Westwood, premiering in Germany, 16th of February for the beginning of the Berlin Film Festival, not related to the film festival, but just coincidentally premiering on the first day of the film festival. If you wish to come and join us for that one-time screening only in Berlin at the Babylon Cinema, a beautiful Bauhaus architecture cinema that has not been bombed at the end of the Second World War, come and join us. I will be there for the screening of the movie, presentation of the movie, as well as the Q&A session after the movie on the 16th of February, 2023. The show begins at 7:30 p.m. Get your tickets now at www.superdacob.com. No, get your tickets at www.artloversunite.com and then click on the screening button. And then you get to see that one screening on the 16th of February. Now, tickets are limited and they are going fast. So don't be lazy with this one. You get your tickets before it's too late, because once they're gone, they're gone. And it's going to be one heck of a show, because also Anita Drink, lead singer of Eat Lipstick, a punk rock band from Berlin, is going to host the evening, the presentation of the movie, as well as the Q&A session. And another special thing about this particular premiere is that for the first time ever, the entire crew will be united for the movie. And we're all going to be there, minus Vivienne, of course. But the cinematographer, Cody Swanson, is going to be there. The author and artist who created the music, Mauro Lanza, is going to be there. Our associate producer is going to be there. Patrick, of course, is going to be there. And we're also going to have a few people that have worked with Vivienne Westwood there as well. In fact, Anita Drink has worked with Vivienne Westwood. So Anita Drink was going to host the evening, also knew Vivienne personally. So it's going to be a very, very special moment to celebrate Vivienne's life, to celebrate the movie, to celebrate her life through the movie, but also to celebrate her life in the city where the movie was shot, because we shot Art Lovers Unite at the Gemälde Gallery Museum in Berlin, one of her favorite museums. And it's just magical. Everything falls into place. You know, all the pieces of the puzzle finally combine and merge. And here we are, you know, sending Vivienne off with a loving goodbye all together one more time. So I hope you're gonna join us, for whoever can fly in, or for whoever of our viewers is in Germany or in Berlin. I hope you can get to join us for the show. And if not, well, that's that. I'm hoping that we're going to have some other country premieres coming after that. But this is going to be that one time where the entire crew is there. So you can also get a chance to ask them questions too, if you have. Malin Chadi says, bittersweet. Yeah, all there except Vivienne. But you can celebrate her legacy. There's a lovely video of Anita Drink and Vivienne on YouTube, says Jesus. Yes, they knew each other. You're going to be there, Snovit. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. And the Q&A is going to be a lot of fun. There's also going to be a little teeny tiny red carpet moment in front of the cinema. Now, it is Berlin and it is February, so it might be really cold. Might even be raining or snowing for all we know, but there is going to be a little red carpet in front of the cinema where pictures can be taken. So I'm not so sure, like, in what state the city is going to be, if it's going to be all wet or if it's going to be dry, if it's going to be freezing cold. I don't know if you can like go there with your little strapless dresses and high heels and just pose in the winter cold, but maybe it's possible. We'll see. Fingers crossed. Worst case scenario, you come with your jacket, you take it off quickly for a photo, and then you put it on again. You know what I mean? Like, the things you do for a moment, the things you do for a photo. And strapless, darling. Yes, strapless. Famta says, Jesus, yes, it's not crazy expensive. Also so rare. I have it just for my collection because the scent just makes me feel weird. But some people love it. There is a lovely video of an... Jesus, I looked that up and watched that. Teddy bear coats may be needed, says Debbie. Just says, yes, blonde. Just look up Vivienne Westwood Berlin. Science Seeker says, it's cold now. Carla says, Dacob, since Chanel has outpriced themselves, do you think they will still do price increase? Or on the contrary, would they slightly decrease prices if they don't have good sales? No, they're going to keep doing price increases. Yeah, I believe they're going to keep doing them. Oh, thanks, Louis. Louis says, I wish I could be there. Jason says, your diet is working, Dacob. You're looking fabulous. Thank you so much, Jason. I mean, I stopped the diet a couple of days ago because the food here is just too good. And as long as I'm here, I'm like, you know what? The seafood with the pasta, the seafood with the pizza, a pox on my diet. I'm carby all over again. But when I go back to the fashion bunker, I'm going to go back to my zero carb torture all over again. So it's fine. Listen, I needed the seafood. You know, I need my omega-3 fats. It is what it is. It's fine. Just saying says, I have noticed more are wearing Chanel ready-to-wear. Things are getting sold out now. Ready-to-wear stores doesn't want to transfer some ready-to-wear to. I hope they don't make so much and oversaturate the market on ready-to-wear too. No, they're not gonna. They're actually trying to make ready-to-wear more and more about pre-orders so that they like actually manufacture all the stuff that they can sell. They want to make less. They want to maximize profits. Their dream would be to manufacture only the stuff that their customers pre-order. That would be a dream come true. Now they have to make a little bit more, of course, every time because they have to have something hanging in the stores. But if you've noticed already now, it's not like they have a lot of things hanging in the store because they're already making way less, selling way less. And even the sales, there's less and less clothes in the sales as well because they are making smaller quantities of everything. They're perfecting more and more. They're fine-tuning more and more the quantities they produce for every store because they want to have less losses. So they're also trying to force the client to kind of pre-order the pieces, but then they also know like more or less what their clients want. You're not forced to buy it if you pre-order it. You know, once it arrives, you can still say, oh, sorry, it doesn't fit me, doesn't suit me, thank you, no. But yeah, there's that. Oh, thank you, Jizzes. Dacob was never big to begin with, y'all. Well, you know, been there, done that. But yeah, you know, who remembers the teddy bear coat from Castel Bajac? So much fun. Of course we remember it. And we also remember the Moschino teddy bear coat from Franco Moschino, not the one redid by Jeremy Scott. And Dacob is filming season 3 of White Lotus. I'm in the White Lotus resort right now. That would be the day. Oh, I would love to be in White Lotus. Just don't kill me off. Back to pressure cooker soups and stews. Yep, just let me say. Back to the zero carb, what was it called? The Voodoo Lily. The Voodoo Lily pasta. Louis on a diet. I had to get some new jeans. I was looking like a chola in my old ones. Abba says small quantity like Zara business model. LOL, Louis. Alex says, I am doing the opposite. Bulking up, says Alex. Oh, look at you. Lady says, the house of Louis. Hola, corazón. You look fabulous. I mean, listen. Looking like a chola in the old jeans, why not? It's a vibe, it's a mood, it's a trend. 2023. Chola it up, girl. Chola it up. Yeah, the konjac or cognac. Yeah. Listen, I know you don't like it. Oh, it didn't pop up. Wait, what's it say?
A woman who loves fashion donated 10 Canadian dollars. Bravo for all your great content and videos.
Oh, thank you so much, a woman who loves fashion. Thank you so much. Let me pop your virtual cherry. I don't know if it's possible. Let me try. Love it. I love when I pop a good cherry. They're not popping up here, the notifications, but the cherries still work. Thank you. Thank you so much. So kind of you. Thank you. Also interesting because you haven't been chatting with us. Like I haven't seen you in the chats. A woman who loves fashion. I love the name though. Awesome. Carla says, I remember when my husband was in his cholo phase when he was a teen. Living Farah. Louis, you need to do the skinny brow and black lip liner. Oh my God, could you imagine? I mean, that's a vibe too. You have to pluck the eyebrows and just draw the little line, and you have to do do the gay version. Do the Marlene Dietrich version of the eyebrow. Julia Fox says, aging, dirty girl, ugly girl, clothes that don't fit. It's all in, like fully in. Oh my God, we love Julia Fox. I mean, she's growing. She's growing on me, I gotta say though, because aging, dirty girl, ugly girl, clothes that don't fit, it's all in. She did
I actually did it myself. Yeah.
Nice.
How many likes do we have? Let me see. Cha. 359 likes. Can we get to 400? Here I am, pulling it down from 500 to 400, and then we can play the next song. I'm eating coconut. It's low carb. Yeah, styling secret. If you plucked your eyebrows in the 90s, they're not going to grow back again. Yeah, there's no more coming back for you. Yeah. Jesus says, Julia is on the autism spectrum. She's an icon. She's Italian. I didn't know. And then I watched a video of her like speaking perfect Italian, and I'm like, oh my God, she is like as Italian as they get. I'm eating coconut. Coconut. Fresh coconut. I love skyr. Good for you, Shikma. Skyr is delicious. Oh my God, Alex is like, when I think of 90s makeup, I just think maybe she's born with it. Ciao. Pammy brows are thinner than the McDonald's arches. Oh my God. Oh, 5 heliotrope, low carb meals. Little breadlets made out of coconut with eggs only. The konjac or cognac pasta, which is made out of the voodoo lily, 0 carbs. Tomato sauce. And then veggies, to which, like broccoli, steamed broccoli, steamed cauliflower. No carrots. Carrots have a lot of carbs. And then you just put some olive oil on them. You can eat meat, a little bit like keto style. Yeah, that's that. Oh, and fruits, you could do blueberries, and you can do strawberries. Those have no sugar, but you're not allowed to do bananas, mango, none of that. You start out with Brooke Shields brows, so I'm fine. Good for you, Janie. Love that we're all on a diet, all nibbling on something yummy right now. Oh, Snowvid, yeah, we're trying. Gwen Stefani's Chola era was iconic and problematic, says Jesus. She looked great during the Chola era, though. It was a moment. Jason says, Rogaine liquid will grow your brows back, trust me. I'm eating lemon skyr with granola. Oh, Alex is asking Jason, but how? Rogaine is an anti-androgen. I started out with Brooke. Lady says, for the next Halloween Dacob, I'd love to see you in a whole 80s look with the hair, clothes, and makeup. Very Pete Burns. Oh my God, it'll be amazing. Alex is eating chips because you're bulking up. Jason says, I put Rogaine on my brows for 90 days or so, and it grew my hair back. I had been plucking since the 90s. Janie says, I seem to be eating nothing but chickpeas and meat. So chickpeas, I don't know. I think chickpeas are not good for a low carb diet. Chickpeas, I think, are carby. But I don't like curry. So there you go. Chickpea curry, not for me. I feel sad for the meat, says Novit. Vitamin B12, says Janie. Jason says, Blonde and Chatty says to Jason, thanks for the tip. I'll try that as mine are too thin in places. High protein. Yeah, I know, Alex. They're high protein, but I think they're also high in carbs. Jesus. If your hairline starts on the back of your neck, Rogaine ain't gonna help, babes. Oh, Carla, I was such a workout junkie in the past, but I haven't done it in years. Like I had 0% body fat. It was insane. Worked out 5 hours a day. Oh my gosh. If only OnlyFans was a thing back in the day, let me tell you, millionaire. Now, however, I am a blob. So, and I don't really have time for working out, but I like the idea of it, but it is difficult. And I have a tendency, I could get addicted to it again, and I don't know if I want that. Ladies costume for the oh Mickey, you're so fine. Oh Mickey, you're so fine. You blow my mind. Oh Mickey. Hey Mickey. Yeah. Her skinny legend stick figure Mariah Carey invisible era. I was invisible. Invisible. I know, 5 hours. Listen. Yeah, it was insane. And like, okay, so my food would be boiled in water chicken breast and boiled in water broccoli. Half a banana with a drop of honey. That's it. I mean, yeah, it wasn't healthy. And that's why I'm telling you, I have that tendency and I don't want to go there again. I don't want to go there again. Who hurt you, Dacob? Oh, if you only knew. Quite a few people. House Sully says, I'm working out again, but I'm trying to do just 1 hour because I can get addicted. Yeah. I used to run every single day at 5 a.m. Oh, the youth, says Sobi. Yeah. Bible says, I just added 2 long-sleeved Super Dacob t-shirts to my Amazon cart. My husband and I will both rock them proudly. Oh, thank you so much, Bible. So kind of you. Rock them. Yes, Queen. Jessica says, hi, Dacob. Your makeup is lovely today. Please tell us about it. Need the eye look. Oh, thank you so much. Well, it's the usual. I always do my Stylo U pencils. I do the 52 Cuivre Doré eyeliner here and here. I do the Antique or All Chanel Stylo U pencil right at the tip here and here. this kind of faded part here is the Tweed #1 palette from Chanel. It's the darker, no, what did I say? It's this one here. This one, the third, like it goes from lightest, a little bit darker, darkest. So I've used the lightest and this one. These two combined together to create this faded out look. A little bit of the lightest gold just down here. You don't see it there, but there's like a glitter shimmer moment happening here. Then I used the Cayal Yeux in Nude Eclat for the top part here and there. I used the Noir mascara. And then I used for the tear ducts, I used 44, I think, Blue Carbon, Stylo U, Blue Carbon to create that kind of dark look right there under the eye. Eyebrow makeup from Chanel to color the eyebrows a little bit darker. And then I did Antique or Stylo U to create a gold contour around the eyebrows. Nobody does that. I love doing it. People think that's crazy. I love it. So there's that golden line going right there. I added that with a pencil. It's a lot. And it takes forever to do it. And I think I'm crazy for doing it, but it's kind of fun to do it when you start. It's like so many little tiny details. And then blending till the cows come home. Blend till the cows come home with a brush. Femta says, thank you for being patient. I can see it. Oh, thank you. Are you saying that to me? Yeah, I think so. We'll try and let you know. Overplucked in the 90s is Blonde and Chatty too. So you're going to try to use that product. Letty says, I took a course in nutrition a few years back and my weight has been steady ever since. Diet is very personal, but good fats, fiber, lean protein, and veggies truly make a difference. Balance is key. Jenny says, I was all Dior palette today. The one from this Christmas went to the coming Museum of Glass. It was positively gorgeous and I couldn't get through half of it. Ooh, that is nice. It was a moment. But y'all, we did not get to 400 likes. Alas, we're going to have to keep the song for next week because our show has come to an end and we did not reach 400 likes. Oh my gosh, we can't premiere the second song. The sadness of it all. Oh, Snovit, you're too kind. I really don't feel hot at all. I said, babe, you're looking majestic, mystic, and hot as fire. Ooh, the coconut went the wrong way. No, says Kev. Yeah, people are very stingy with their likes today. Oh, everybody crying. But I mean, while we're waiting for maybe reaching 400 likes, I just want to play the thank you to the mods song that Bubbles sings every week to thank the mods. Debbie, Jesus, Kev, Nicole, Aisha, Audrey, everybody. Hit it, Bubbles.
A special thanks to the mods in the fashion bunker. Thanks to Debbie, Jesus, Audrey, Aisha, Nicole, and Kev. Bubbles loves you.
Jessica says, thank you, Dacob. Going Chanel makeup shopping tomorrow. You look stunning. Oh, thank you. They do have some good makeup. Lippies, They have the best lipstick containers, but not the best lipsticks. Oh, I love you so much, Tisha. It's a great song, right? And Andrea says, since you worked so hard on the glowy makeup, I hope you're going out next. Nope, I'm not. Taking down the makeups as soon as the live stream is over. It's just for you. I made this just for the live stream. Thank you, mods. Great work as always. We're at 385 likes. So basically, we're not going to release the new song because we're missing 15 likes. Okay. if that's what you want, that's what we're gonna do. Thank you, mods. Great work as always, says Silent Secret. Thanks, mod, says Deeply Erring. Love you so much, Tisha. Great song, says Janie. Yeah, it's thank the mods. Monarch says, thanks, mods. And Andrew says, since you work so hard, I hope you go out. Read that one already. Jenny says, you really do have the Chanel makeup going on. I am so in need of some to teach me how to put this war paint on. I mean, it's a vibe for sure. Oh, and of course, I also have on my cheeks, I have the Malice Chanel blush. And Kev says, late night nude beach run. Dipping just a tip into the water, darling. Just a tip. People exit out of the chat and like the videos, as Jason. Snovit says, what do you think of Edward Best's makeup? I don't know it. Is it good? Exit out of the chat and like the live, says Jason. Debbie says, get those other accounts. Oh, Asia says, bye, guys. Thanks, mods and Dacob. Have a great weekend. Have a great weekend, you too, sweetie. Deep Airing says, LOL. Lovely as usual. 391 likes. Yeah. Maybe they don't know how to do it, says Jason. Tip of what, says Debbie? Just 8 more likes. No, Kev, it's actually 9 more likes. Tip of what, Debbie? I mean, I'll let you be the fantasy judge of that. Because if you know, you know. Let the tips come through, says Kel. Let them come through with joy. Try tutorials on YouTube, maybe. Says Styling Secret to Janie. Debbie, teasing. Janie, math is hard. Okay. Yeah, math is super hard, especially for me. Jesus has... a mushroom tip. Debbie says, yay, me. Oh, wait, are you a mushroom tip? Jesus says mushroom tip. Debbie says, yay, me. Okay. Kev says 4 more. Yeah, we're at 398. Natalie says, I like your reviews. Hi from Montreal, Canada. Hi, Natalie. How's it going, sweetie? Welcome. At 395, says Sylvie. 398. Jason says, I just had a quietly returned item like you had in your video the other day. Oh, you did. So close, says Sylvie. Oh, Debbie, says Tracy. Kev says, wait, 399? No, I see 398. On my end, it's 398. No, just an aficionado. Some have hats, some don't, says Jesus. Hey, V-Sense. Yeah, you made it just at the end. Cece says 400. Oh my God. We reached 400. No, we just lost one. Somebody's messing with us. We're at 399 again. Somebody just unliked the live stream. Okay, now we're at 401. Okay. Let's see if it stays that way. We done did it, says Debbie. We done did it. Janie says, rude. Picklemar says, your numbers are delayed. Cece says 404. I liked it, boo-boo. Thank you, V-Sense. 408 says Kev. 402 says Vida. Okay, who unlikes? Maybe that was a cat's paw or something. Blunt Chai says, can we hear the song again, please? Okay. All right, let me play the song that we released at 300 likes. So let's rehear that one. The Would Go. Hit it.
Would go, would go, would go, would go, would go. Would go, would go,
Such a bop. Such a bop. So that was that. But now, ya guys, this is the moment. This is the moment. The moment. And I mean the moment. Kind of sounds like I Want to Go by Britney, says Jesus, but it's better. Now, do you guys remember the Halloween live stream? At one point, it was like people kept tuning in and out because everybody could call in, and we had, you know, everybody was on camera. And then at one point, somebody tuned in and did their makeup live, was getting ready to go out and did their makeup live with us. That was Madame Ross. Lovely lady. She was with me at the Chanel event. We went to dinner together. She's an opera singer and she dresses 30s and 40s and 20s style. She sent me a little voice clip that she allowed me so graciously to use. Are you ready for an opera version of Dying Ferret, sung by none other than Madame Ross herself? Hit it.
Dying ferret, dying ferret, dying ferret, dying ferret, dying ferret. Or something like that. Please let me sing it in for you. Ah!
Well, thank you so much, Nicole. That was so amazing. I'm telling you guys, this was worth 500 likes, but you were really doing it hard. So we did it at 400 because I really wanted you to hear it. What an icon. What an icon, right? What an icon. And I said, I'm like, oh my God, this is so amazing. Can I use this? And she was so sweet. Nicole said, I could record it better for you. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is in the moment, spontaneous. It's energy. It's sizzling. It's vibrant. Yes. Can I please use it? She's like, yes, of course you can. But she wants to record another version. But this was just the best way to go out with a bang. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope to see you all next week in another adventure in the Fashion Bunker. And until then, never give up on love and, well, subscribe. Bye.